Crossover continues to evolve.
Crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. Happy Halloween, boys.
Oh, yes. I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday.
Okay, so we're watching.
No, it's not.
Well, do we want to even admit what we're watching? We're getting ready to turn it.
You guys watch this on the reg.
Well, we've got NBC News on usually on one of the TVs, and then it goes over to Hoda and Jenna.
Yep.
And I said, all right, we'll turn it. And I'm like, wait a minute. Do you want to see what Hoda and Jenna are wearing as a costume?
And I said, yes.
You did.
I do.
You did.
So they're going with Sonny and Cher
Sonny and
today.
Cher, and Jenna is Sonny. All right.
What an amazingly topical
kind of
reference.
oddly kind of looks like George Bush with a mustache.
If I did dress up for Halloween, it would certainly be topical. It would certainly be topical.
I'd hope so.
That's what I would.
Otherwise,
try to
why
do.
dress up?
Exactly. Now, if you're going to be Sonny and Cher, I don't know if there's Sonny and Cher news that I just don't know about recently.
Hasn't been a lot of Sonny Bono news in a while.
Okay.
No, that's
Pretty much the same.
Did you just make a flat line? Wow, Josh. I mean, it's true, but yeah, I get it. When we were younger, you could throw on whatever you wanted because our mission was to get as much candy as we could. Now,
Sonny
if
died
you go
in
as an
1998.
adult, freshman year in college. Now you can, I mean, as an adult, if you go dressed as something, yeah, you got to be topical because your mission is not to get candy. You're too old for that.
But you can't be too topical because how many Travis Kelce's and Taylor Swift's can they really?
Oh my
really
God,
Yeah.
so many of them. White people get a new costume.
I agree. Try something different. Josh won't let me be Ice Spice.
I will not.
Again.
I care about you.
Again.
I always wanted to dress up as Taylor Swift, but I never knew what my boyfriend should dress up as until now.
You could have dressed up as many things.
Well, that's true. Many boyfriends too.
It's our
but
chance
would you
to do
recognize
a
him? Now you
really
can just throw on
cute
an 87 jersey. Now you can throw on an 87 jersey and everyone will know.
now it's really easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mustache, you got to go mustache. You
See,
know?
there's a Taylor Swift. I think that's a Taylor Swift costume right there.
I don't know who the guy with the guitar is supposed to be, but he kind of looks like Kyle Brandt.
He does, but he's supposed to be Blake Shelton.
Okay.
Yeah, he's supposed to be
Gotcha.
Blake Shelton, and his
That's got to be Taylor Swift.
co-host is Gwen Stefani. It's supposed to be Gwen.
Also
Stefani.
here
Not Gwen
locally
yeah, Gwen
today, doesn't matter what you are. You're putting a coat over it. So just be a costume character that has a coat.
I saw a good meme, and it was a picture of like a Batman with a coat on over the top. Is like when you go trick-or-treating, but your mom also makes you wear a coat over the top of it.
It totally ruins it. Unless
does.
you like go as a Wookiee, because then you can go like hoodie and everything underneath, and then you just have like the outside layer
If I remember
is
right,
actually fur.
I think last year we had a pretty decent weather Halloween.
Last year
Yeah,
was
I was
like-
in shorts last year.
Yeah.
I remember
Okay.
that.
Yeah, and this year we're gonna be in the 20s. I think.
You're gonna have a lot of drive-bys with cars and sending the kids out to a house and then running back into the car and then going to the next one.
I was thinking of doing the trunk or treat.
Yep. There's in fact, a kid had a trunk or treat at daycare on Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys, both of you with children, will you be walking around with beer in a hand, maybe a hot toddy or something
Typically,
like that?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually got the cooler. We'll either roll the cooler or we will have. Wife and I have really large
You'll
Yetis.
roll the cooler.
Yeah, we'll roll the cooler. This year, maybe not rolling the cooler because we're not going to be outside as long. But yeah, last year had the cooler rolling.
So what's your son gonna be this year?
Spider-Man.
Oh, good, classic.
Nice.
And trying to get that damn costume off of him because he's had, like I mentioned, the trunk or treat on Friday. There was something. Oh yeah, he dressed up for the hockey game Saturday night. And he will not take that thing off. Like taking that off, you'd think we're pulling his fingernails out.
And Josh, I assume some sort of dinosaur for your
Dinosaur adjacent. My son will be Bowser.
Okay,
Gotcha.
All right,
That's pretty close.
Yeah.
Has your son ever got into the Bluey craze?
We want him to be into that show more than he is.
too. Gosh,
Like, hey, I like watching this.
it
one.
is.
Let's watch
It's
this one.
funny.
He's not into it.
He could give or take.
So
Interesting.
we noticed
Kids
this
have such takes.
over the weekend. We forced it upon him now because he doesn't like always volunteer. Like I want to watch Bluey. He just wants to watch Spidey and his amazing friends. But we had him sit down and watch it, and he was like laughing the whole time. Yet he won't say, "I want to watch Bluey."
He doesn't
But when
wanna
we put
watch
it
it
on,
again.
he just laughs. He thinks it's so funny.
Yeah, to go with the old force feed,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
put it on.
Until he finally says, "I want to watch Bluey," and then it'll be like, "Oh my gosh!" It'll be music to our ears.
I never put that much effort into my Halloween costumes, even as a kid. I just, I
Oh, really?
I never did.
Hmm.
The most memorable one, like I was always just like a baseball player. I just wanted to be a base, so I just grabbed a jersey, whatever I had, and then a pair of pants, threw it on.
I was a nerd one year.
Everybody's there. You got to be a nerd once.
I was Wilson one year from Home Improvement.
Nice.
Did you actually have like a little
peep over the fence?
Cardboard fence. Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I was definitely a yellow crayon once.
Nice.
I don't know. Was as an adult?
No. As a child.
My adult costumes were like money.
Really?
Because we all remember the mask you had to wear with the rubber band that would break.
Of course.
And then mom would get out the stapler and staple it back. But there'd be so much condensation that by the time you got to the fourth house, you already had it, sitting on top of your head.
Because at that point, you were just all about the candy. You didn't.
Now you might want the big alien mask tonight.
Oh yeah,
to put over your head.
I can't recall a time that's been this cold.
Might get a little foggy.
But as I realized, once you stop trick or treating, like at about 12, you don't really pay much attention to it. And then when you go to college, like this is a big night.
It's back. Yeah,
it's a big night out at the bars.
It is.
But then when you become like an adult and you have a job and responsibilities and maybe a family, I've gotten more into Halloween.
Yeah, just really
like the Dirk Diggler costume, my white trash costume.
In college, I think Halloween just sort of evens the playing field. You know what I mean? Like you could dress up as something, you could be funny, you could show people immediately that you have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Can I go back and pick at this Dirk Diggler costume?
I had questions.
I
had questions too.
What's the Dirk Diggler costume?
You just naked?
No.
And you sit there in front of the mirror and say, I'm a big star.
I have worn kind of like the...
Got a kielbasa in your shorts?
That's pretty funny.
All natural. You saw the guy behind home plate last night, what he was wearing?
With the Iowa shirt?
Well, his buddies that showed up then, and they had
the six-pack and the...
Yeah.
So I like the Iowa shirt guy.
Yeah.
I'm Brian Ferentz.
I've worn that, and I've got the bike shorts. I mean, I still have all this stuff. Thankfully, like 12 years later, it still kind of fits. So I'm very happy about that. And then I've got the tube socks pulled up and an old pair of Adidas.
Okay.
And so I'm Dirk Diggler. And then I've got the headband. You have to find people that watch that movie.
Yeah.
It's not always easy.
Yeah, less and less now.
Once you explain it, if you join a contest, they'll be like, "Oh, I got it." But there is there's part of the costume that sets it apart.
Oh,
there is.
You definitely notice.
Very key piece.
You saw the one going around of Randy Johnson and the bird.
Yes, that's great.
Ethan just tweeted that at us.
Terrific idea.
Did you? By the way, Randy Johnson's first pitch last night. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. So
is he okay?
You saw him kind of warm. I know some.
It does not look like a guy who threw 100 10 years ago.
They'll sort of do the little arm rotation just to show like, got to warm it up.
Yeah.
But when he threw it, it looked like most amateurs that have never thrown a baseball, and he threw it kind of high. He looks like he looks good. He had like he had the very modern haircut, kind of the shaved up on the sides. But he threw it like he's never thrown a baseball.
I just expected him to get up there and kind of wing it a little bit, but no, he just flung it.
Yeah, he didn't look very confident
to Luis Gonzalez.
Yeah,
and then they got out their towels and the
guy who
with their towels
threw the last pitch. Oh,
weird.
We got Prime over here, by the way.
Weird World Series environment in Arizona.
See you, Josh, dressed up as Prime.
Yeah, he's got the big white cowboy hat. I saw
there
him
earlier. There he is.
Weird World Series environment, by the way. It was light when the game started. Yeah. And
I'm not used to seeing that dome open either.
It certainly didn't feel that intense.
No.
Last night in
Phoenix.
Well, I don't think the Phoenix crowd is intense.
Also,
Phoenix crowd.
When was the last time outside of 2020 that we played a World Series where both of the venues were on turf? I was thinking about that randomly last night. It had to have been in the 80s when all the fields were turf.
Probably.
But I mean, you don't see
Royals Cardinals.
I'm thrown off on the World Series. Like, I think it's been an okay World Series, but you know what? They have to fix something. Why did the World Series start on Friday?
To avoid Sunday.
And they took Sunday off. Yeah.
But still, it has thrown me off that now we're to Tuesday and we're already to game 4, but because usually the series starts on a Tuesday. Now, I would like them to do this. One, I think the World Series has been taken back a little bit by where baseball fits in the landscape, but also interleague play. I mean, these
matchups aren't unique.
Yeah, it's not special to have Texas and Arizona because maybe you went and saw them in June.
Yeah,
they played a 3-game.
That's a fair point.
Just regular series. But I wonder if baseball, and you know this, we're all baseball guys. Baseball is all about series, right? 2-game series, 3-game series, 4-game series. If baseball would ever think about changing the format to go 2-2, 1-1-1. Like how we saw the NBA has done that, and it's really works well. And granted, you're not playing every day, but I think it would add some intrigue if they changed it.
It changes the whole complexity of the series.
1-1-1.
Because you get more days off, and then you get pitching back.
Yeah.
Well, especially in this one, you wouldn't have to worry that the travel isn't nearly as daunting.
Today, in the World Series, we're going to have a bullpen game.
I said that before the show.
How are we having a bullpen game in the World Series?
Yeah, that sucks.
It also has something to do with there isn't as much top end starting pitching just generally anymore. Mm-hmm. Also, we have two teams who back their way into the postseason, and they, there was a world where we could have had Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom and that whole. Remember Jacob deGrom? Yes, he's actually on that team.
Mm-hmm.
But so we're not dealing with anything like that right now.
I wish I would hear more stories, and maybe this of the age of my friends and their kids. Like I remember watching the World Series with my dad. Like we'd watch every game. I don't hear people talking about that now. Of like, hey, I'm going to watch the World Series with my kids.
I haven't watched every game of the World Series since probably
the Royals.
Well, since probably the Cubs.
Okay,
the Cubs won. I mean, that was a great series, and there was an obvious interest.
I missed a lot of Saturday's game, but I watched
all last night.
I missed most of Fridays, but got home in time to see the best part, and the Seager 2-run bomb.
By the way, how long was last night's game? It felt like it was about 2:12.
Yeah, it was short.
Yes,
because it was over before
the NFL game started to drag.
It was over before Monday Night Football.
So this new little invention of the YouTube, where you can watch 2 games at once, or you can get the quad box.
They had it.
Is fabulous.
They had it last night. I got to watch the World Series and Monday Night Football. They used to not merge sports.
That's why I was telling Gary. I didn't realize that, and then I thought it was like kind of a network thing. Like you got all the ESPN college football games, or you got the Fox college football games. Now I realize on Saturday you can customize it.
You can customize it.
You can choose combinations now. It's pretty sweet. And the biggest thing that I noticed on Saturday, it finally fits my TV. It's not like squared off, like both boxes fit the entire picture now. I don't know what I did. I don't think I did.
So when
anything.
you said you can pick, like they give you options.
Yes,
right?
they give you different options.
I would love to be able to pick the games that I'm putting.
Sorry, you can't manually, but they give you. It's like 10 options of like 10 different quad boxes that you can choose from.
I threw it old school
college football
last night. I just picked one and went with it. I didn't really watch the NFL game last night.
You didn't miss much. Yeah, it was a bad game.
Yeah.
Yes,
other than the
World Series game wasn't much better.
Other than the, I'm surprised it's not a bigger talking point. So Gibbs scores the touchdown, and he's into the stands.
Mm-hmm.
The strength of the woman that just single-handedly pulled him up, and then grinded on him.
I saw that. She's very close.
There has not been much discussion. Is that just a normal thing in Detroit?
Detroit's been hungry for a winner. Okay,
it's. I would say that as a football player, it's probably an odd feeling when there's a woman grinding on you during a football game.
But she by herself lifted him up, over the railing and into the stands, and then went for the full grind.
Yeah, I mean, there's no space.
The Lions are back, baby.
The Lions are back. Jared Goff was like mad after the game.
Well, Jared Goff was kind of back last night, in a bad way. He looked more like Rams Jared Goff.
Ford Field always looks sleepy, and it was packed last night. But the way I think it looks like the cameras are so far away from the field, it always is like a sleepy atmosphere.
It's a boring. So
I don't want to go there for a bowl game.
No, we've already decided this long ago.
Yeah, but
Detroit is all the way out. No,
even though that's the most drivable.
No, I feel like
Detroit's out.
No,
3 weeks ago, Gary Sharp was the Detroit tourism guy.
I'm done.
We got our sights set on way higher than Detroit now. Detroit is over.
Can we bring the Detroit
Vegas,
Lions
Phoenix, or Nashville
up on war crimes for those uniforms last night?
How about the logo? I get it. It's the old school logo. That logo's terrible.
I get it. The logo's terrible. The uniform is terrible.
But the helmet was good, though, right?
No.
That logo.
What if they would have put the helmet with their blue uniforms?
Yes.
That would have been fine.
All right. Because I didn't like the uniform.
For me, it's the gray, mostly.
Yeah.
I just
gray on gray.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah, Graham Gray's not my favorite thing, but I couldn't get past the logo. Again, understanding that was the original one, there's just certain things you don't need to bring back. That thing was terrible.
What is it? What is it? I just see the 2 lines and I'm like, what's
two lines into this like really like basically like a 6th grade sketch of a lion.
It's their logo from like the 30s,
yes,
right?
Yeah, it's like the original lion. It looks like the Wizard of Oz lion or the Mercury Cougar symbol. It's not good.
Right, the old school Detroit Tiger that people draw.
Yeah,
I've seen those logos.
It's not good.
Funny.
I wish we had more throwback uniforms in baseball.
They're kind of coming back a little bit
every now and then.
I've not seen the Cubs wear their pinstripe blues on the road. They had baby blues that had dark pinstripes.
Oh, see, that would be sweet.
The Cubs keep it pretty. They got 3. And that's it.
And they've got a terrible City Connect jersey.
Wow, they're horrible City Connect jerseys, but their home jerseys are like iconic. So you can't really mess with that too much.
It's been a while because you guys rant about this. I will tell you, it is so much of a letdown to go to a game in person of your favorite team, and they're wearing that godforsaken uniform.
Yeah,
not their normal, crisp, good-looking home uniform. You go on a Friday when they're wearing City Connect, and you're like, "Oh, this is abominable."
Imagine what the NBA fans are going to see when they show up in the courts purple.
Oh
my God!
Oh my eyes!
Did you ever think did when LeBron James broke into the league in 2003? Did he ever think he was going to be playing on a purple court?
No,
probably not.
I bet he wanted to, though.
Are we supposed to like the in-season tournament? Because I've seen more promos for the in-season tournament than I have for the first week of the regular season.
Also,
what's going on?
But why? I mean, wasn't the original idea behind it is that you were going to be able to, like, if you win it, you get a playoff spot or something like that? Like, wasn't that the general idea?
That was the original idea.
Yeah.
And it sort of morphed into a way to get fans and players to care about games in November, January.
And they're doing it so everybody plays you play people in your pool. It's basically just regular season games repurposed on a purple court.
And then there's a weekend
random
in
jerseys.
Vegas for the championship. The team gets extra money if they win.
If you put tournament by it, people will get into it.
I don't think so.
No,
you're right.
You're right.
No, you're right. I'm just saying that's the idea of like, hey, tournament.
I want to reserve judgment until like I see how it works, but right now
it seems unnecessary.
It seems like when your dad is like, "Hey, look, we're desperate here. I'll pay you $20 if you get an A."
It's the equivalent.
They are beating
the father paying the kid, bribing him for good
it's
grades.
The Adam Silver thing. They're trying to turn the NBA into Premier Soccer.
Yeah,
and I don't know that it works here.
The Premier League.
Ooh.
The WNBA does it. Like I just don't know.
Why don't they change it a little bit more? Like why
it's gonna work?
Why don't they do the Elam's ending, which doesn't even exist for the All-Star game this year?
Yeah.
They took that away because they were like, we can't do that because it's in Indiana.
Oh, well, Giannis tampered with Dame when they were choosing sides for the All-Star game. So we can't do that anymore.
Stupid. Well, they still are going to have the choosing the teams, right? I think that's
East West.
Yeah, it's East-West.
Oh, it's East-West again.
They change it back.
So it's just old school original.
I don't know why they won't. The game has grown so much.
Should we go with the white uniforms and the red uniforms?
Go American against European.
Sure.
That'd be fun. That'd be a fun.
I wish they would do that with Major League Baseball.
Oh, yeah.
America versus the world.
Yep.
Against international.
World Baseball Classic was highly successful.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can you imagine how ramped up the All-Star game would be if you had America against the world?
Yeah, that'd be
American-born players.
That world team would be kind of stacked.
Yeah, they would. But that would be...
There'd be a lot of All-Stars left off.
But Freddie Freeman would have to claim America again.
Yep.
Canadian
we'll
Freddie
take
Freeman.
The Canadians.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Canadians and
Americans.
North America.
Yeah, North America versus international. There you go.
Who gets Cuba?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a good question. Maybe that's why they don't do it.
That's true.
It's a gray area.
Who gets Cuba?
We don't want to get into the politics of that.
Everybody's going to want Cuba, but nobody's going to go, I'm claiming Cuba.
Otani declare citizenship in the United States?
That's right. Yeah. He's an American.
The one thing about the World Baseball Classic is there are some guys that end up on other teams. You're like, no.
Yes.
The clearly Mexican Randy Arozarena.
Yeah. The all the players for Italy.
Yes.
This year. It's like, yeah, I know that your name is Vinny Pasquantino, but like
what was the outfielder from the Cardinals that ended up on the Japan? World Baseball
Lars Nootbaar.
Yeah.
But he is part Japanese, I think.
But there was somebody was like, no. I think you should be playing for the U.S. And he's like, nah, I'm good.
Well, it's also funny that his name is Lars Nootbaar, and you're like,
Yeah.
Japan?
Yeah, I would think maybe German.
Yeah.
It'd be a little bit. Anybody named Lars? Maybe that's where I'm narrow-minded.
Nicky Lopez played for Italy.
Yes.
So his last name is Lopez.
Yeah. Why not?
So
That's my guy. Don't make fun of my guy.
I'm not making fun of him.
You're just bitter.
I think his
Is he under control for another year in Atlanta?
I believe so.
he's getting married in a couple weeks.
Oh,
You going?
Congratulations!
No.
It's a celebration.
I just follow along on the Instagram.
Okay.
Is it at the
Yeah.
Schooler building downtown?
No, it's in Phoenix.
Oh,
I
okay.
think.
Is it did he meet her?
Yeah, Creighton.
Okay.
She was a Creighton basketball player.
Wow. There is a lot of crossover of athletes at Creighton
There is.
that end up getting married and have families.
There is. We got a couple on men's basketball and women's basketball right now. I don't know, like historically, what that was like, but yes, it's one big happy family.
I mean, we had a run of Nebraska athletes with soccer players.
Yes.
We've had a volleyball player.
Quarterbacks and soccer players.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Two examples of that.
Adrian.
Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We had a really good running back and a fantastic volleyball player.
Yes.
And now they're producing
They have
future
700
running back
kids.
and volleyball players.
Just realized my son got a picture with Gina Mancuso.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about Dad?
No, he wasn't there. It was the volleyball team was making their rounds, and so he got a picture with her.
Nice.
The
The new volleyball team.
Yes, the new volleyball team.
So on TikTok, did it come across your timeline of the Nebraska volleyball team in the locker room?
Yeah.
Asking questions about your worst date?
I didn't see that one. No, I do see their TikToks from time to time. They get a lot of love on there.
Yes, they do. So they just released the one where they have the best mascot, Little Red, scaring the volleyball players coming into the Hendricks Center.
Mhm.
Oh,
And Kennedy Orr, I felt bad. She went down, down.
He's like, I'm out.
None of them punched.
that would have been the best.
Like you said, it's not if you go to a haunted house, that
Yeah.
might be a natural reaction. Somebody jumps out from behind something, you might punch them.
Yeah, it's a
I always
defense,
feel
it's a
bad
defense mechanism.
for the little kids, and you go to a game and you see a mascot, and the point of the mascot is it's supposed to be friendly and it'll high five you or whatever. But there's some kids who look at that thing and they take one good look and they go,
Yep.
and then they start bawling. And what do you do if you're the mascot in that situation?
Mhm.
You got to run away.
I think you get used to it
gotta
after a
walk
while.
away.
Yeah, so they
Yeah.
teach you at mascot school,
Which is a real thing.
which I took a mascot to. Is
Mascot 205.
is you don't try and force it, you kind of diffuse it and you walk away.
Yeah.
You don't become alarming towards the child. They also teach you at mascot school when a group of thugs attack you, what to do.
What do you
like
do?
children.
You're supposed to, the initial thing is to play it and have fun with it. Not fight back immediately.
Yeah.
All of a sudden get the dukes up and start
Just go-
swinging.
Be pretty
going
funny.
this.
Yeah, you're supposed to
Hey!
be animated.
Yeah, hit me.
Hey, this is not what we do.
Is there any protocol with fighting with other mascots?
There is not.
That's
Just the head's got to stay on.
It's encouraged.
That's the key.
Yep, the head's got to stay on.
Who was that? Oregon and
Well, the Cal Bear and Stanford Tree got into a fight,
Mhm.
Yeah, the Stanford
real.
tree is
but that
unhinged.
was not just for a bit.
No, that was real.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were beating the crap out of each other.
Oregon
People are
and
stunned just
Washington
watching.
State.
Yeah, at first you're thinking it is a bit, and you're like, then it crosses a line.
That's the mascot fight I was thinking of. Oregon and Washington.
The duck, what's his name? Flappy or Slappy or something like that.
Slappy Swan.
Slippy,
I
slappy.
don't think it's
Swanee?
Slappy, but that's a good
Swanson?
one.
No, it's something like Puddles.
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 What?
Yeah, his name is
Yes,
Puddles.
it is Puddles.
Yeah.
He lost his head.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
thing is unhinged too. Pac-12 mascots, kind of
Um,
wild out there.
So-
Big Ten mascot.
So I
Thank you
think
very
this
much.
was, what was the game? Was it 99 when Nebraska? Yeah, 99 Nebraska, Colorado went to overtime. Chip, the buff, And the person that was in Herbie Husker at the time got into it. And I mean, they were going at it and it looked like they were just playing.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, like fellow cheerleaders came over and they were in serious mode.
Not as a bit.
Because so Chip came over and tried to pick up Herbie and he like picked him up. And the guy that was in Herbie Husker like responded and he like turned and pushed Chip. And they both went down on top of each other. And then Chip started wrestling. And I think the guy that was in the Herbie Husker costume was like, not today. And so they were like going at it. And it was uncomfortable because it was in that end zone where the students are that's got that weird.
Yeah, like the elevated little track thing.
But then like the male cheerleaders from both sides came like running over to try and break them up. And then here comes the campus police.
Honestly.
And they're wrestling in the end zone.
That's what I want to see. I go to a game like I want to see that. I'm all the way in on
So you're hoping that the new Herbie just beats the hell out of the turtle in 2 weeks?
I hope so. I hope we get a mascot fight. I think Nebraska's mascot plays it pretty cool though.
Yeah, we're the underdog this weekend against Sparty.
Against Sparty?
Yes.
What about Pete? Pete was getting after it last weekend.
Took down Pete.
That is such an odd costume.
My favorite part of Purdue Pete is, well, actually not my favorite part because there's many favorite parts of Purdue Pete, but they give him a jersey and it just says Pete on the back. I think that we should do that where we give first names on the back.
Should mascots be dressed in the uniform of the sport they're performing at?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I do think so. Yeah.
Like Willie Wildcat? No.
Well, you don't think he should be in the football?
Like, so should we have football Herbie? We've had him in the past where he's dressed in his uniform.
No, his thing is
he went through a stretch where he would
pads.
be on the road. He'd be wearing the red pants.
He's all
and he'd
purpose.
have a jersey on.
Yeah, no, he needs to be in his overalls. That's just how we know him. But yeah, there's certain mascots I think it's okay if they're in the seasonal uniform. Like you'll see hockey Durango and then basketball Durango, baseball Durango sometimes if they bring the right stuff.
Now, where's child abuse Durango and all that?
They made up.
That was
they did another video.
That was a pretty heavy hit.
People don't forget.
Yeah, people.
I think he just caught him, in the right spot.
What would child abuse Durango wear?
Well,
are you wearing a white tank top?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
This could be a good Halloween bit.
With some spaghetti stains.
You could have child predator Durango, and then somebody dressed as Chris Hansen following him around. No, we don't need the mascot. Oh, this is great. Like you could just get some guy that's a little grungy.
Let's have a seat.
You remember To Catch a Predator, those shows, because we couldn't look away when they were on NBC.
Why are you here? What was your intention?
Why are you here with a case of Mike's Hard Lemonade?
I keep seeing the one. It's a guy and he goes in and he like eats the pizza and he sits down and Chris Hansen comes up and he's just eating his pizza. He goes, "Who are you?" Chris Hansen's like, "Well, we'll get to that, but who are you?" and he's like, "No, that's fine. Eat your pizza. Eat your pizza." He just sits there and he realizes that his life's over.
Yep.
And he just keeps eating his pizza.
Okay.
It's going to be my last normal meal.
I couldn't look away when that was on.
It was
I mean, a horrifying show. Horrifying.
And then you were just hoping like they wouldn't feature the town you were living in.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't see anybody that you knew. But you couldn't, like, he played that role pretty well. And as we know, he played it really well later as he got in trouble and then got canceled.
Yeah,
tough.
Yeah.
But that show was
unbelievable.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean,
unbelievable.
And then people that would get up and leave. Like there was one guy.
They tried to leave and they have.
Well, how about the
cops
one
around
guy? There was one guy that brought his kid.
Oh, no.
He was coming to have a meetup with a 13-year-old girl and he brought his kid.
Oh, man.
But when he would walk out
yeah.
they would just like, I remember, you're right, the one about the pizza. Who are you? We'll get to that.
Well, he goes, yeah, we'll get to that. I just thought just to change this real quick because
no, catch a predator Durango. I think that'd be a good one.
I just saw something that triggered me on Twitter. According to ESPN analytics, the Clippers are now they now have the best chance to win the Western Conference
with James Harden,
Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard. That's going to be one of those teams where when it finally disintegrates, it's going to be like, hey, they only played 6 games together.
I give it 6 weeks.
Right.
I give it 6 weeks.
They need 2 basketballs, so I don't think that's allowed. And
they're not going to play.
I feel for Tyronn Lue.
What a horrible situation.
It's going to cost him his job.
The Clippers won't get better than top 6 in the West. I can guarantee you this. 22% chance to win the West. Get out of here. I can't stand that team. That team is there's so many bad things that are gonna happen to them. And they had so much hubris. Oh, we have Kawhi Leonard. Oh, congratulations. He played 2 games for you ever. Oh, nice job. You blew a 3-1 lead to the Nuggets in the bubble Western Conference Finals or Western Conference semifinals.
The bottom line is
they make me sick.
Harden and Westbrook can't quit each other.
Well, Harden quits everything.
But he always falls up.
He does.
No, he didn't. He's not falling up right now.
Did you see him crush the Spurs on Sunday?
He doesn't want to be somewhere, and so he forces his way out. It's bad. It's a bad look.
And he gets
And I
accommodated.
don't think the NBA needs him. But man, the guy's hustle. Gotta give him credit.
No, I do not. I do not have to give him
He wears
credit.
a fat suit to get out of Houston. Somebody says, you know what? Let's get rid of you.
I'm going to sit at this stage at the strip club until you trade me.
Well, where do you think he found out about it? Wouldn't it be great if he found out with Woj's tweet at 1 a.m.? He was like in the crib, and all of a sudden his phone goes off.
Oh, man, sweet.
And you know what? He checks the Clipper schedule, and he goes, I think I'm good to play on Wednesday.
And he'll go there, and he'll show up, and he'll be like, wow, this is awesome. And then 2 weeks will pass, and then he'll be like, this is horrible. Please trade me to the Phoenix Suns immediately.
So he'll score like probably not tomorrow night because I don't know what the extent he'll play, but there'll be a game here like in the first week where he'll go off for 46.
None of them will play ever. That's the point.
And then the chit chat shows will be like, this is going to work, right?
Yep.
They play tonight against the Magic.
Magic are kind of cool.
Hey, they are. Hey, your Nuggets are 4-0. They ain't messing around.
I was just telling those guys before the show.
What is parade?
It's give it a couple weeks, and we're going to be talking about like, are they going to be 16-0, and then the question will be like, how
They're
long can
not
it go?
messing around.
No.
Are they the most boring dynasty of all times?
I don't know. I
Skip
just
and
saw
Shannon
a
discuss.
large man throw a fastball about 70 feet down the floor,
Skip
right
and
to the
Keyshawn.
rim
Yeah.
for
Come on.
an alley-oop
Like
dunk.
without looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy's a freak.
He is.
Did you see his advice for Chet Holmgren?
Yeah, to get fatter.
Get fat.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
And then the internet took a weird side turn on that where they're like, hey, some people can't gain weight. Like no, we're not doing the
body shaming.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's not body shaming him.
just
Like we're going to get the Peloton bike
Where
commercial
was
again?
I in the line upstairs when they were handing out? Some people just can't gain weight.
Seriously.
you can't
That
just
was-
say get fatter. Like it's not healthy.
Come on, Jokic. Think about the stuff before
Look
you
at
say
you. You're fat.
it. Stupid. NBA dumb.
You weren't drafted during a Peloton commercial. You were drafted during a Taco Bell commercial.
That's right. Quesarito, baby.
I really do miss the Peloton bike drama. That was great. How dare you shame your wife and buy her a Peloton? What kind of a man are you?
That was a COVID outrage, right?
It sure was.
Nice.
She's beautiful the way she is. She doesn't need a Peloton. You jerk.
Talk about a difference between COVID and now in terms of pricing. Remember when Peloton was like enormously expensive?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Now
they come down?
it's still expensive, but
Okay.
it's nowhere near like it was
Yeah,
during COVID.
is
Before
it
COVID was like $2,500.
Is it a cult anymore? Is that still happening?
I don't know. You know where I am seeing it more?
it was a cult.
I do see Pelotons more in hotel fitness centers.
Oh, that makes
So
sense.
you have an account and you can track your
Yeah.
progress, so you can log on and you're at a
Nice.
hotel and all of a sudden you're on the Peloton.
You get the Peloton's little brother, the Echelon,
Chris
which I see at
Crutchfield,
Costco.
Big Peloton guy.
Who?
Crutches?
Chris Crutchfield.
Does he got the shoes? They have the
I didn't
special
have the
shoes?
shoes, but
okay.
Trae Young got him.
yeah, he's got. Trae Young is like the gift that keeps on giving
I
for
keep-
Omaha men's basketball.
Keep bringing Trae Young. Keep giving Trae Young stuff.
No, but he's got like his special like two. He was explaining this to me. He's got like special instructors that he likes because of their programs.
yeah.
But he's got his whole like history of. I'm like, wow, this is overthinking.
It's nice that
I
it
just want to
tracks
do
it.
30 minutes on the treadmill, coach.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
Just want to do my workout. Go home.
He goes, Soul Cycle now.
All right. I don't know why we're watching highlights of the guy tractoring.
Yeah,
he's
dragging
live.
He's dragging a mean field.
They're live in Phoenix.
Looked good, though.
It
They're
did
gonna
look
get
great.
field ready.
He's dragging it well.
So is Mad Dog's there.
What's the
Really?
What's,
Yeah, and they made it well known that he was in their building last night.
what's temperature in Phoenix today?
83.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
They're going to keep the old
Like
retractable roof open.
No,
and
not
it's got to
right
be
now.
pleasant.
The high I have surprise saved in my phone.
Shock.
Yeah, home of the Royals spring training. People forget, and the future World Series champion Texas Rangers. 82 is the high today.
Nice.
It's going to be mid 80s all week
Beautiful.
long, forever and ever and ever.
Last night there were reports that Zach Greinke was just walking around the concourse.
Yes, I saw that. Awesome, incredible, and such a classic Zach Greinke story. He's just
Taking
there.
it in.
He's just there. He's not in a suite or anything.
Getting
He's
the
just,
360 view.
5 days after the World Series, is he a free agent or does he retire?
Yeah, he will probably retire, would be my guess.
And then he'll come back and they will do something with his number?
Yep. And he'll wave to everybody or just be really awkward and then just walk in. Be like, okay, see you guys later.
What stadium will he be honored in?
I would say Kauffman Stadium.
Huh?
This happens within the next couple of years.
You think that soon? That he's honored?
Well, they'll bring him back. I don't know if they're going to like retire his number or anything.
They
but,
want
like,
some
they'll-
butts in the seats.
Yeah,
right?
they'll bring him back
Love a Zach Greinke day.
for sure. For sure. All right, boys. Well, have a great afternoon.
You too.
That is the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. It's Tuesday. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
When you think of the white collarist of white collar fan base, professional sports, what comes to mind? Could I make an argument, John, for the Los Angeles Lakers?
I don't know if this is my answer because the Lakers are a pretty good answer. The Cowboys.
The Cowboys, certainly.
I had a listener suggest the Commanders.
That's a pretty white collar fan.
I think that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Bellevue Berry and Pumpkin Ranch from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Bright, breezy, and cold for your Halloween with a high today of 35, but feeling like the 20s. For trick-or-treaters tonight, bone chilling with temperatures into the upper 20s, lower 30s, feeling like the lower 20s with clear skies. Becoming partly cloudy overnight, a low of 21, feeling like 13. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. Football season is here. You'll be going to games and you want to see all of the action on the football field. Kugler Vision can help you ditch the glasses or ditch the contacts for good. Visit them online at kuglervision.com.
Well, hello there, my pretties. Want to make a happy Halloween even happier? Then check out the low prices during the Halloween sale at 42 Degrees. Be the cool ghoul and get great products like disposables and e-juice up to 50% off. Get super scary savings on Delta starting at just $4.99 with the frighteningly friendly, nightmarishly knowledgeable, and paranormally professional staff. The Halloween sale by your mom's haunted house. Restrictions apply. Products may contain nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
Put your coffee department in good hands with Host Coffee Service, providing direct delivery and loaned coffee equipment with service programs. If you're ready to change to a better coffee provider, it's time for Host Coffee.
Omaha's best coffee since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
Fear has a name. This ain't no pumpkin patch.
Ice cream, you rock a baby.
For 30 years, Scary Acres has been doing what they do best. Scaring the out of you. The Master's Castle, House on the Hill, and the Haunted Woods. Scary Acres, the ultimate haunted attractions. 172nd and Giles. Sponsored in part by Raising Cane's, Stereo West, and Ivy.
Does eating at home have you singing the blues? Stop by Cops at the Shadow Lake Town Center, 180th and Center, or 72nd and Jones to grab a delicious pizza, burgers, fresh salad, and some tasty charred wings. They even offer keto crusts and an extensive variety of shareable appetizers. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Cops, now with 3 convenient locations to serve you. Shadow Lake Town Center, 180th and Center, and 72nd and Jones. Click copspizza.com to see the menu, pizza, and so much more.
You know that feeling. When you do something good for someone else, that volunteer vibe is worth chasing. To find your perfect volunteer fit, check out shareomaha.org. Find simple and fun ways to help. Give your time your way at shareomaha.org.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up? I'm tired of feeling so bloated. That used to be me. Then I got this. Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion. A probiotic, right? Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus Food Digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Learn more at alignprobiotics.com.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
All right, good morning. Happy Tuesday. Welcome in. It is the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you. We will have NFL reaction over reaction today. Talk about, we'll do a very special trade deadline edition of NFL reaction over reaction.
Oh, I love a theme.
We'll talk to Allan Bell on some NFL topics and other things, whatever might come up with AB here in less than an hour. And Josh's bottom 5. So we get some NFL. I can't wait. I told you guys yesterday, I can't wait to dive into the drive chart and give you some nuggets of what I came up with in my. I've added some components to the spreadsheet. This thing is really, really growing now. It's a thing, and
it's a living, breathing document.
It is, and it just spits stuff out at me, and I say, "Wow, gosh, that's interesting."
Must be a couple things jumping off the page at you if you're.
I'm just excited that the whole thing has been an asset to me because I came up with the idea to do the draft or the drive chart this year, and I'm like, man, this could be really good. And it was mostly to keep track of how bad the offense was, and as it became apparent that the defense is going to be pretty good, I added the defensive page, and now it's basically giving you, well, here's how much the defense has on them, and here's how much they're helping Nebraska out. And of course, as you go, you're 8 games into the season now. You've told the majority of the story of the entire season. So this is kind of what Nebraska is. And they're starting to get some turnovers a little bit on defense. Anyway, we'll dive into that. We will check back in on our friends in Iowa City. I'm very interested to know Kirk Ferentz's thoughts on Brian Ferentz's departure following the year. Obviously, the statement came from the athletic director yesterday that it was officially passed down that Brian Ferentz would not be returning next year. Once they passed that off, when they realized, hey, probably not a great idea to have Kirk overseeing Brian just because we got some nepotism in here, and he's really made his way up through the program. So it came from the athletic director yesterday, and Kirk Ferentz will have his press conference today. And what will he say about the departure of Brian? How much was he in on it? Was it his idea? If it was his idea, then I don't think we have any drama whatsoever, right?
Well, I mean, the family would have drama, but that's not our drama.
Yeah, that's not our. We're talking about Iowa football. Now, his answer to that question of how much did you know about this and whose idea was it is going to tell us a lot about the situation. Keep in mind, Iowa has an interim athletic director, which, I mean, she'll be the full-time athletic director. Don't know why they still even have the tag on her. But Kirk's answer to that question today, and I'm sure a series of questions involving the future of the program, will tell you a lot about maybe his future and certainly Iowa football. We'll check in on Dabo Sweeney's radio show a little bit last night. It was like a 6-minute clip, so we won't play the entire thing, but there's some highlights from that.
This guy's unhinged.
And plenty of audio yesterday. And of course, I have no takes on James Harden.
Not one.
Not even a take, not even a little take.
Not even a, hey, 1 a.m.'s a weird time to break that story.
I woke up
thing.
And I saw it and I thought, and then I forgot about it immediately. because I don't care about James Harden. I don't care about it at all. So we were off and running on a Tuesday. That's the lineup. Powered by the Referees at John Higgins Weather Guard. Want to get in touch with the show? We would love it if you did so. 402-951-1620 on the 42 Degrees Source hotline. You could text that number as well. Connor or Josh O at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank inbox, and Twitter at Happer Show at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. We say good morning to our YouTube audience this morning. Hello, everybody.
Yippee in that YouTube audience.
What's
with
up,
a
Yippee?
Great answer as to why the interim tag is still on. I think law requires they do an interview and recruiting process, Connor.
Yeah, I mean, but what I'm saying is she's not going to be the interim. I mean, she's going to have that tag removed eventually. It's been a long time since Gary Barta quit or retired. It's quite a long process.
Like a
Yippee.
while. Oh yeah, you know these bureaucratic organizations. Takes forever for them to do anything.
Also, people like True Husker Pod on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed wondering if there's any truth to Scott Frost being the offensive coordinator at Iowa. No. I mean, no. This is just an idea that's being brought up by people that is funny.
Yeah, I guess it's possible.
It's funny. It's like, possible is a good word for it, but I don't think that would be the way that Iowa would go. I think if they're going to hire an offensive coordinator in the conventional way that we think about it, and by the way, we don't know that yet. We'll see what happens. Maybe they hire from within. But if they go out and have a search for an offensive coordinator around the country, they'll look in their window, probably somebody from the MAC.
Yeah,
would be my guess. But we'll get some answers on that one today. Uh-oh. What's this?
Connor, it's deadline day in the National Football League. Deals happening all across the league. The Bears and the Commanders.
Oh, great.
Have made a trade.
That seems like it'll be really important for the rest of the NFL season.
It sends pass rusher Montez Sweat to Chicago in exchange for a second-round pick.
Why are the Bears trading draft capital?
Great question, Connor. It's why I bring it up.
Okay.
Do you think the Bears were a Montez Sweat away from achieving anything?
Why are the Bears trading draft capital this season to get a defensive lineman? Huh. Okay. Well, good luck. I'm sure the Commanders were like, sweet. We'll take a second-round pick, I suppose. Montez Sweat's a good player.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right, deadline day. Might get wild today. Who knows? The deadline is now, they always confuse me with the time. Is it 2 or 3?
Oh.
I think it's 3, right? 4 Eastern?
4 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, there you go. 3 o'clock. So we'll have our NFL reaction, overreaction in the noon hour, and some of the stuff that we'll ask may be slightly outdated. We'll, of course, keep an eye on all things trade deadline in the NFL, and then what teams should do and which players might / should be on the move. Did you see Devontae Adams last night? He's not happy.
That would be an understatement.
I think Devontae Adams, we'll get to this later, but like he is, more than anything, he is sad, right? Like he wanted to play for the Raiders. He's frustrated. He signed up to play with Derek Carr as his quarterback and didn't get that. Then they traded him. He doesn't get the ball in his hands. They gave him like he had the answer to the question of like how much say do you get and what happens on offense? And he was like, yeah, a lot. They've given me, they've given me all the tools, but it's still's not happening for him in Vegas, which it's a dysfunctional franchise, so that happens. So I think he's more sad than anything, but yes, he should play for a different team by the end of the day.
I mean, he had 7 targets last night, only came away with 1 of those.
Yeah, I mean, targets.
But I understand. Like this isn't the team you signed up to play for when you said, "Yeah, I would love to come to play for the Las Vegas Raiders."
And we have World Series game number 4 tonight. It'll be a bullpen game. Joe Mantiply and Andrew Heaney in World Series game 4. Not a star-studded pitching matchup. Also, we're watching injuries on the Rangers as Adolis Garcia got hurt last night. Max Scherzer got hurt last night. And so it's going to be a war of attrition, I think, between these two teams. No starters lined up for basically the rest of the series at this point, which is funny. We're running on fumes, these two, at the end of the season. And we might go 6 or 7 games. But the Diamondbacks would have to win tonight to get it back to even. All right, we're all set up on a Tuesday. Plenty to come on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
Sports fans, Let It Fly Sports Bar is your elevated sports bar experience. Located in the Capital District in downtown Omaha, experience Let It Fly's unique brand of hospitality with 2 floors, 2 bars, 2 expansive outdoor patios, and an in-house podcast studio with live broadcast of the Let It Fly Show. Hosted by me, Michael Severe, and Josh Jones. Host your next college game day watch party, private event, weekend brunch getaway, or a date night right here at the Let It Fly Sports Bar. Try our delicious brunch menu and reserve your seat for the game.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here, and we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
The glory and the greatness are only a few days away. The 40th running of the Breeders' Cup World Championships at Santa Anita is finally here. The ultimate racing showdown that every owner, trainer, and jockey around the globe has in their sights. With $31 million in purses and awards, there's a lot at stake. But only the best will claim the coveted title of World Champion. Coverage begins Friday, November 3rd on USA and continues Saturday, November 4th on USA and NBC. Visit breederscup.com to learn more.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone. let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, plenty of Matt Rule audio from yesterday. You know, he tends to go on some tangents sometimes, but baked inside a couple of the tangents, there's always something that's like, wow, okay, that's sort of definitive in how he feels about this team and in this season. We'll have that throughout the show, and I dive into the depth chart as well. As always, we'd love to hear from you guys. And we go there right now on the 42 Degrees Source Hotline. We say hello to Random Mike. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Connor, when we got to the women's game on Sunday, walking into the arena, I hear over the loudspeaker the PA guy warning the mostly elderly crowd to refrain from giving into their racist, homophobic tendencies, you know, to do the right thing.
Yes.
This is Nebraska. And I'm thinking, this is heaven sent. Is he going to add the magic words at the end to make the point more emphatic and bring joy to the vast majority of the crowd? And
what did I do?
No, he didn't.
No,
he didn't.
He did not.
But on the positive side, there were a lot of good assists. I got to tell you, this transfer from, is it Montana State?
Yes.
What's her name?
Darian White.
She looked fantastic.
Yeah. I think she'll be good. I'm interested to see what happens with that team. And they're I feel like Allison Widener would have been a big deal for them, obviously. But
that break your heart? I mean, that is so unfair.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. She was about, fully back. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're missing a piece or two, but they got some. I mean, some of their freshmen look pretty good too. So we'll see what happens this year.
And you gave credit to every assist.
I tried to. I always think you ran to Mike. And by the way, before I read the please don't be racist or sexist or homophobic thing, I was like, I know if Random Mike's out there right now, he's probably waiting for me to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm never going to do it.
I thought, did he have the cojones to do it? And I asked very nicely, and I thought I threw in a sweetener for you if you did.
Yeah.
And hey, don't underestimate the goodwill you have. When you got this job, I didn't know who the hell you were. I talked to some of my Lincoln people, and they really liked you, and everybody in Lincoln likes you. People like you.
Wow, I didn't know that.
You would not be fired for making the crowd feel real good and throwing in some people. See, I deal with some Iowa haters, and it's not easy.
Okay.
And let me tell you something. They're happy the change was made in Iowa. Really happy.
Yeah, I would think so. It almost feels like there's some hope. There's some light at the end of the tunnel, right? If you have an offensive coordinator opening, you're like, wow, well, anything could happen.
Hey, do you feel bad for Sims? I thought they didn't. I thought they should have put him in earlier. Do you know what I'm saying? I'd love to see what practices are like with the quarterbacks, and the training they're getting. And Rule was asked a question about the hit that Harburg took and then having him run an option right after that. And I thought that was a great question. I mean, anybody watching that would say, this guy's taking a lot of punishment. Why are you putting him in that kind of situation? And what was his response? I mean, well, you got to be able to handle that or something like that.
Yeah, he said, well, he's pretty sore. He doesn't feel real good, but, he's the Nebraska quarterback.
Yeah. To me, that's just not a good play call. But I don't think everybody's saying Sims is done. No more. I don't think so.
Why not?
Well, first of all, I think there'll be an opportunity. Like, who comes in if Harburg's hurt?
Oh man, that's a complicated question right now. I don't know. I mean, it seems like Sims, and maybe I just think he's. I mean, he had the 2 games that he started, and it was obviously the way it was, super shaky. But whenever he's come in like these quick change situations, Scott, the other time was when Heinrich lost his helmet, and the other time was when Heinrich got hurt, like briefly injured, right? It just looked. It just feels like that's not a great situation for him to go into, right? Like,
and remember, all we heard, and I thought he had a good spring game. All we heard was he's an NFL guy. He's the guy, and I think that had a lot. And in practice, didn't you get the sense that in practice there was no question of who the number 1 guy was?
Yeah.
Coming into the season.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why he can't translate that over to the game.
Yeah, and well, he did in the spring game, but I'm just thinking that he hasn't really had the opportunity. I'm just curious what's going on in practice now is what I'm saying. Is he still acting like he's winning the practices, which apparently he did before? And don't you think the quarterback that transferred, Thompson, if Sims wasn't clearly the number one guy, that Rule wouldn't have encouraged Thompson to go, which is what he did.
Yeah. I mean, that thing certainly worked out in like the worst case scenario for Nebraska. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just saying, I think Sims in practice is showing what he always did. It's just a question of getting in the games and being yourself and not screwing up. So we'll see what happens. But hey, I thought that one more thing, the men's game. Did you watch it? I thought there was some really good passing going on.
Yeah,
and the newcomers look good. And again, so much is who you're playing, but maybe they got a shot.
Maybe they got a shot, Mike. Thanks for the call.
You bet.
All right. So let's go right into Sims and Harburg right now then, since Mike already broached the topic a little bit. I got a couple from Rule that I want to play on this. But as I've said all along, and I think Mike's like onto the right path. What's going on with Nebraska's quarterbacks? And once again, I'm to go back to yesterday. I am generally happy right now. Before anybody gets after me for nitpicking and I know what Rule said yesterday about like, hey, 31-14, but it was ugly, but we won 31-14. It wasn't ugly to me. Before anybody jumps all over me for that.
That wasn't ugly. That was not an ugly game.
No, they dominated.
Yeah.
Nebraska dominated. They tried to blow it for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it. I didn't think it was ugly either.
I
thought it was beautiful.
A single second of that game where the outcome was in question.
Yeah, Nebraska was up 21 and there was briefly, and that mostly has to do with us and our memories, those damn memories.
I erased the opening fumble from my memory.
But they're up 21-0 in the game, and they got a blocked field goal, and the guys are high-fiving each other. Yeah, I'm the happiest person in the world. It was great. So before we, there's the disclaimer for this. But there is definitely something with Nebraska's quarterbacks, and maybe it's just who they are, and that's it. But I wonder how it goes during practice, because during the games it always just seems a little bit frantic for my taste. And part of that is you get a quarterback running like a hybrid option. He's not an option quarterback. Like he's running he's supposed to be Eric Crouch, and he's obviously not Eric Crouch. Like he's not as good of a runner, but he's their best runner, right? So like it's a total makeshift offense, and I don't think it means anything for the future. But I think about Nebraska's quarterback play this year, and I don't know, maybe it's going this way in practice too. But I mean, Jeff Sims gets thrown into these situations where it's really not, it's not built for him to have success, obviously. So that's a part of it. And Heinrich has been in a situation since he took over that is not built for success. But he is definitely the right guy for the makeshift scrap together offense, right? Like if you're looking for a guy to kind of go out there and just sort of wing it, and there's a limit to that, obviously. Heinrich can go, and I mean, the first time we saw Heinrich Harburg this year, he was playing like H-back. Mm-hmm. He caught a pass before he threw a pass this year, right? So he's a football player. You throw Heinrich Harburg into the football game, and like it's not going to be that bad. So I think that's where he has the advantage over Jeff Sims right now, who is a quarterback. And what happens around him is really important. And it just always seemed, I mean, it basically almost happened again on Saturday where the snap almost hit the motion man, right? And then he fumbled on the next play. It's like, so it's not just the fumbles, it's the operation in general. So there's something in there that, and I've said this since the beginning of the year, maybe there's too much on their plate. I would have a hard time believing that there's too much on Heinrich's plate right now, considering he's been the starting quarterback for 5-6 games now. And he's running a totally dumbed down offense at the moment, but it just always seems a little bit sort of frantic. And the disappointing part, I think, for Sims, and I could totally understand why people wanted to see him, because we just weren't sure yet. But he was never able to get into, and maybe he will down the stretch. Maybe there's a game where Heinrich has to miss the entire game and you have to build the game plan for Jeff Sims. Like there's still 4 games left. But like that's the disappointing part for Sims. I don't think we ever saw him comfortable. We never really saw him settle in. There was probably a moment in, I don't know, the middle portion of the Minnesota game where it felt like they were owning it, or maybe the majority of the Minnesota game, the first game of the year. And then the fumbles happened and the turnovers happened and they blew the game. And it just felt like, man, we're really fighting for it here. Same thing against Colorado. It just felt like they were fighting uphill the entire game. So there's something in there where the offense, needs to just sort of take a deep breath, understand what they're there for, right? We got to get a couple first downs, and worst case scenario, we punt the ball. We can't turn it over. And if we could put together the 15-play, 87-yard drive, then sweet, great. But it's going to, you're going to have to pop a couple runs in there. As Rule said yesterday, they, we're tops in the conference at 10-plus yard runs at this point. So let's get to some Rule audio on this yesterday. We'll start with Heinrich. Number 3, Josh, how did Heinrich Harburg feel coming after that game where he took some hits and he fumbled, and I mean the one blindside one was pretty wild.
Yeah.
He just did not see him. Number 3.
I don't think he felt real good. Yeah, I mean, I love the guy. I love the competitor, right? I kind of said to him what I said to you guys. I didn't want to say anything in here that I wouldn't say to them. I said, well, if the one was your own dang fault, right? Like, don't, and he said, Coach, that guy could have come off the sideline for all I know. I didn't see him. So, I mean, I love the competitor. I think he's caught in the middle right now, and I have to do a better job as a head coach sometimes of, hey, I don't want to slide. But he kind of slows down right before contact. The week before, I thought I was hesitant. This week, I think he's just not quite sure what to do, and he hasn't played a super ton. So we're going to work on that this week because both fumbles, the play was dead. I mean, he knew he was done. Just probably needs to get down on those plays, and not because he's a sheep, but he just probably needs to skip a rock and get an extra yard, and we'll just play 2nd and 9. So we're trying to make sure as a staff, like we took a lot of time this morning as a coaching staff to go back through ourselves and, hey, what are the things that are happening and how do we fix those, right? But he's a little bit beat up. But you know what? He's the quarterback in Nebraska.
He's the quarterback in Nebraska. And he's definitely the quarterback in Nebraska at this point. As the question of the backup quarterback thing is interesting. I'm not there yet, right? I just haven't really thought about it. Who would go in at this point? I think it's still Sims, right? But it's all pretty situational. And Rule said yesterday I wouldn't have a problem with putting all 3 of those guys or any 3 of them at one time into the game. And then on the Sims part, here's Rule yesterday on sort of where Jeff Sims is at the moment, number 6.
I don't know what I wouldn't want to speak for him. I just know that Jeff puts as much time in as anybody else. Tough scenario to get put into. Like, hey, go in there. Hey, all of a sudden you go in there to play, and it's not like you're going in there to toss the ball around, which is usually as the quarterback what you're going to do. We put him in there and we ran him. So I have a lot of confidence in Jeff Sims. I think Jeff is a competitor. You're the starting quarterback. You get banged up, someone else goes in, then they become the quarterback. You watch when we do I think I said this last week, I'll say it one more time. You do those videos that we do, and it's one thing to see a guy celebrate, like Heinrich scores, you see him celebrating with, oh, what a good teammate. I watched and saw when he threw the ball to Malachi on the sidelines, they showed the cinematic view. And as he dropped back, you could see Jeff putting his hands up like touchdown as it happened, because Jeff cares about the team. And so I have nothing but the greatest of respect and admiration for Jeff. And he's ready when his number is called. He's ready. And Chubba is back to form, and I'd have no problem putting Chubba in the game. So, we have 3 really good quarterbacks. To me, the fumbles are something that falls on me.
So what he's saying is the fumbles are a little bit more a product of the offense. I couldn't agree more. Like I couldn't agree more. I think, like I said, the operation of it still seems a little bit frantic. We've been very clear on this the entire time. The ceiling for this offense is not very high. Like at best case scenario, it's an offense that hits 2, 3, 4 big plays a game, ends up punching it in for touchdowns, maybe 3 or 4 of them, and hopefully doesn't turn the ball over much and gets out of there with a win because their defense was able to help them out. It's not going to be any more than that. But I just sort of think the operation part of it is still kind of frantic from the quarterback standpoint. We got an email here from Zach.
Hi, Zach.
On the Equitable Bank inbox, he says, the ugly to me is in regards to sloppiness and turnovers, not style, as well as Satterfield's lack of situational and personnel awareness and play calling. Yep. Well, guys, I mean, when they're pushing, when they're pushing the gas and they still have Heinrich Harburg in the game and they're up 21-0, or 24-3 or whatever it was, like when that's happening and they're pushing the gas, that ain't Marcus Satterfield. It's Matt Rule. What is he? He defends it every single time when they come up after the game or the Monday press conference. What are we here for? Are we going to go play or are we going to play? Right? He wants them to go play. And I think Nebraska is confident enough. I also think he thinks his offense needs reps and just to sort of get things right. And they're confident enough in their defense where they're like, yeah, all right, if we screw this up, then our defense is going to have our back. And you're not doing it when you're up by a touchdown, right? You're doing it up when you're up by 2 or 3 or 4 touchdowns or, 3+3, whatever it might be in the game. So while that stuff bothers me, I'm not going to, I'm not going to let it cloud my judgment of the game and the win for Nebraska, which, like we said, was pretty much completely dominant the entire time. So, I mean, that's where we're at in the quarterback situation. I don't think, as we go into the future, will we see Jeff Sims again?
I don't think so.
I mean, he's not going to be challenging for the job.
Yeah.
Right? They're going to ride this out with Heinrich. If he comes in after Heinrich gets hurt, then that's all right. And if he comes in, if Heinrich loses his helmet, then hopefully he doesn't fumble.
I think if it's one of those things like, hey, we need him for a play because Heinrich lost his helmet, then you'll see Jeff Sims. But if there is an injury, I think they might trot Chuba out there.
Maybe. I mean, it would change what they're doing on offense. It would certainly take a dynamic away that they've used heavily.
I mean,
with the run game with the quarterback. Chuba just doesn't really have that in his game, and they still don't have wide receivers. They'd be in quite a conundrum at that point.
Yes,
but there is something to feeling, to give a little bit of light for Sims. Like if you know Heinrich is out, and you go into the game and maybe you start the week as the starting quarterback, I would want to see how that would go. But we clearly know that he's not great at coming in these quick change situations. Like go be the quarterback. That's not good for him.
Right.
He needs to have some stuff working sort of around him. Where Heinrich is kind of like a gunslinger. It doesn't really matter what's happening around me. I'm going to go play. I'm going to go do my thing. Right. I think that's the sort of the main difference between the two. And the fact of the matter is, regardless of if the quarterback is making mistakes at this point, they need a quarterback to go out there and go. They don't need anybody being timid, standing in shotgun on 4th and 1, which they do a little bit too much for people's liking. I understand. We'll come back. We'll have some more Matt Rule audio. Of course, we want to dive into the drive chart as well. One tweet here real quick from Steve.
Hi, Steve.
How come Purdy doesn't come in when HH needs a break? Well, I think he's been hurt from what it sounds like over the last several weeks. Not completely healthy. Yeah. I think that's your answer. And they don't feel comfortable quite putting him in the game yet. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see him down the stretch too. It's all hands on deck right now. Like once again, if you think about this, the quarterback thing in the grand scheme of things, and I know the way we talked about it earlier in the year when I had my whole thing about Sims is like, you realize what happens when you change quarterbacks and you make that definitive statement. It's that, it's a statement to the entire rest of your team. I don't think it would be that way anymore. Nebraska has 4 games left. They're trying to win the Big Ten West, and none of this matters outside of this year.
Cobbling it together.
Whatever it might. So it's kind of nice and freeing when we talk about quarterback situation this year because it doesn't have long-term effects. It really doesn't. I don't expect Jeff Sims to be back here next year. I don't expect, I think I expect Heinrich Harburg to be here next year, but probably not in the starting capacity. I don't know what happens with Chuba, right? Like this is all nicely sort of situated and confined into the 2023 season. So it's one of the rare quarterback situations that's like doesn't have long-term effects. It's kind of nice. I think it's how Matt Rule sort of wants it, actually. Obviously, they'd like to have a for sure answer at that position, but it's like, we don't have to deal with any of the drama stuff. We don't have to deal with any of the politics because everybody knows that it's all hands on deck. If we need Jeff Sims, then we need Jeff Sims, and that's what we have to do. We got to play the right guy at the right time. All those walls have been broken, right, for this year. So I wouldn't be surprised at anything on offense over the last 4 games of the year. Seriously. I wouldn't be surprised if Tommy Hill started playing quarterback.
He does love that man.
He loves Tommy Hill, right? Just it's anything and everything for the offense to get a yard, to get a first down, to get a touchdown, to get in field goal range. That is it.
And some of these teams down the stretch, you could benefit from having a quarterback with a better arm than better legs.
Sure.
You know, it's going to be tougher to run the ball on the Michigan States, the Wisconsins, the Iowas of the world.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
And whatever the hell Maryland is.
What is Maryland? We'll find out on Peacock in a couple of weeks.
Discourse is going very well with that.
That's just Jack. Jack's got this whole bit about anti-peacockers.
Yeah, he's anti now.
He's anti-peacockers. If you're anti-peacock, Jack is against you. He's only anti those people. Very odd things going on Twitter right now, for sure. As per usual. Back with more of the Connor Happer Show when we return. Allan Bell will join in about 10 minutes. Come back on 1620 The Zone.
Talking Connor.
The Connor Happer Show with Connor Happer and Josh Odson on 1620 The Zone.
I love you.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Hi, this is Kathy Knoyer. 'Tis the season at Glass House Market within Knoyer Garden Center. We'd like to invite you to come shop our stunning holiday market, where you'll find a perfect gift for that special someone or the Christmas decor you've been wanting. Join our family for this year's open house, November 4th and 5th, to help us celebrate the holiday season. Glass House Market, located within Knoyer Garden Center on 66th Street between Cornhusker and Highway 370 in Papillion. Open daily 10 to 6.
Knoyer Garden Center, everybody's got a green thumb.
Hey folks, Kent Pavelka again to tell you about your local concrete experts at Everlevel Concrete Repair. Now, if you have cracked, uneven concrete, Everlevel can fix it at a fraction of the cost compared to replacement. This is no Band-Aid. Their products are built to last. It gives your concrete the durable protection it needs, and there's still time. I chose Everlevel for my driveway, and I've got peace of mind with their long-term transferable warranty. Everlevel's products and customer service are top-notch, and that's why they've been voted Best of Omaha again this year. Say it with me. Everlevel, Everlevel, Everlevel.
Did you know that radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer for non-smokers and that our region has some of the highest levels in the country? Radon Defense Midwest can test and fix your home. Visit radonradio.com for an exclusive offer for 1620 The Zone listeners. That's radonradio.com.
Husker fans, this year marks the 100th season of Memorial Stadium. You can preserve memories from this iconic stadium with a limited edition, fully licensed football for $119. The ball also features championship and stadium history, as well as a full-panel panoramic color photo of Memorial Stadium. Only 5,000 footballs will be produced. To order, call 1-800-345-2868. That's 1-800-345-2868. Or visit NICOsports.com. That's NIKCOsports.com.
Email unsportsmanlike conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone Inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone Inbox.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Breast cancer is among the most common types of cancers in the United States and accounts for 1 of 3 new female cancers every year. Get familiar with your own breast with self-exams, and if something doesn't feel right, get it checked out. Find out more at cancer.org.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
All right, welcome back. We're the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you. We got a comment here on the YouTube from Dion. Rule wins. The people won't care if he murders someone on O Street. I don't think that's true, actually. I think people would indeed care about that. But I do want to say this as far as the season is concerned. I heard Scott Docterman on the morning show, Sharp and Haley in the morning this morning.
On 1620 The Zone?
On 1620 The Zone. Wow. You can find the podcast at 1620thezone.com.
Radio replay?
The radio replay, sorry. So Gary asked him at the end, he's like, hey, so by the way, who do you think's going to win the Big Ten West? And he said, well, I think the Nebraska Cornhuskers are going to win the Big Ten West. And I thought, I don't think I've heard anybody say that out loud and in a serious manner and someone's opinion that I respect in at least 7 years. And then before that, probably 2 more years. I'm like a ticking time bomb right now. I'm waiting for somebody else to have the take that Nebraska is going to win the Big Ten West just so I can glom onto it. I'm waiting.
No.
I'm waiting. I don't want to be out in front of this because I don't want to be like the Homer guy. Like, it's got to come from somewhere else. It's got to come from it's got like Bill Connolly has to say it.
Can I ask a question about our friend Scott Docterman? Would it shock you if he was saying that?
Yes.
To troll the fan base?
No.
He's a little smarmy, and I like it.
All I'm saying is...
Oh, no. Nebraska's definitely going to win the Big Ten West.
If he's serious or not, I don't care. I just need to hear somebody say it out loud.
You just want the words.
I'm a ticking time bomb, man. I'm just waiting. You heard my positivity yesterday. I believe I'm all in on this thing. I think Matt Rule's the guy. And I'm just waiting for somebody to say it this year. And we'll play this audio later. But Matt Rule was asked, about the comparisons of his previous teams. Right, his second year, and he's already likened this Nebraska team in his first year at Nebraska to his second teams at Temple and Baylor, teams that went about 500. And yesterday, I felt like he went even a step further. He goes, this group is basically above those groups because there's the belief and there's the buy-in, and like it's 100% there. And well, you know what happened in year 3 at Temple and Baylor? Like they competed for and won conference championships. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just I'm in a very, very weird emotional state right now. I'm not used to feeling this way in November. I usually feel this way in August.
Yeah.
This is usually a right before the season buzz that hits. It's like, yes, okay.
Maybe they could win the West.
Maybe they could. And if they win the next 2 weeks, it's gonna be close to. I'm gonna be McGruber. Yeah, I'm gonna be like that. At any moment, it could just go off to the phones on the 42 Degrees Source hotline. It's Bob, Triggered Bob. Hello, Bob.
Hey, Hap, I have a confession, and then I'm going to draw a parallel to see what you think.
Okay.
Pretty sure I called in earlier this season and said I wanted Dion, not Matt Rule. I was wrong.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob. Thank you for apologizing. Takes a big man.
Yeah, let's just call a spade a spade. I mean, they were absolutely on fire the first 2 weeks. Everybody and their pet dog was talking about them, but turns out it's a little harder than just basically just paying a whole college football team to play. Anyway, I want to talk about Peacock.
Okay. All right.
It's not the cost that bothers me. I've obviously already signed up, but it's almost like the air discussion you guys were having yesterday. Like, first it was free, then it was a quarter, then it was 75 cents. Now you go to some places it's $2 just for air. So it's kind of like you can't really put the toothpaste back in the tube. Where does it end? I mean, I've heard new cars nowadays, if you want heated seats, it's a subscription service. So
Yeah.
some months you have it, some months you don't. I mean, I think we're just go ahead.
No, is that a real thing?
It is, Josh.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, so really just like, are those two things related? I mean, I think we're just tired as a consumer of being just pulled in every different direction when originally we were just tired of paying whatever $200 for cable, and now basically it's almost the same. So
Yeah.
I'll hang up and listen. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Bob. So, I mean, it's tough. Like, I'm not here to sympathize with the TV networks, but like, you want to create you have a product and you have a lot of it. If you're you're going to have even more of it next year when there's 18 teams in the Big Ten. You got a lot of inventory that you got to get out there, and they're trying to find ways that, obviously, yes, they can make money, but also get it all to you, in sort of an efficient manner. Like, it's still a good broadcast. If it was bad, like if it was a bad product, then I guess I'd be more mad. And you have to find something that like almost, that can work for everybody, right? A lot of people have cut the cord and they have Peacock anyway. And they're like, yeah, well, you're going to get your football here now too. So it's a win for the app, which the networks, the parent companies, NBC in this case, wants to promote. They want people to get Peacock. So put football on there and they're going to get it. I get it. It's not great for the consumer because we are currently here in 2023 in this middle stage of there's still people who have cable. There's still people who have the cable. And then you have to have some apps on top of it. And then there's people who have, the YouTube TV, but you obviously still have to have the apps on top of it. Like, I'm not trying to be like, no, it's easy for the consumer. It's not. But there's some things that you just are like, okay, I'll bite the bullet again. I'm going to watch my football team. And I think this is another one. I'm like, I don't know. I just accepted this reality. I did. Am I mad at it? Sure. I'd like it that if everything was on cable again, but it's not. I got to have Netflix. I got to have HBO. I got to have CBS, whatever their app is. I got to have NBC. I got to have, all this other, I got my subscriptions to my local media sources, This is why we encourage you to listen to AM radio where it's free, baby. Free 99. And we can tell you all this information about how you have to pay.
Why couldn't Big Ten Plus be better?
Oh, it certainly can. Yeah, it certainly can.
But why can't we just make that better?
I don't know. Ask the Big Ten Network. Ask Fox, who owns the big, part of the Big Ten Network. I sympathize. I sympathize with you, but like, I'm just okay. I'm just, I'm not mad at this. I can't find it in my emotional, like, the emotional part of my brain and body to be mad about it.
I think working in media, we kind of
we
knew
know
this was going to happen eventually. And
yeah, I pay way too much money to consume sports. It's just a fact of life. I pay way too much money to consume the things that I want to consume on television. It sucks. I hate it.
I'm going to throw an idea out here, and Connor, if you like it, you throw it right back. If there's any establishments in town that have Peacock, want to let the people know that they have Peacock?
Tell them.
Tell us, and we'll tell them.
Tell them. We'll send it out there.
Yeah,
we can get your word out for you.
I don't know if that's like I know bars were worried about that initially. Like, hey, we got 74 TVs here, and we don't have 74 logins to Peacock.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a way around that. I'm sure there is.
If you're going the extra mile for the consumer, you should be recognized. I agree with that, Josh.
And we'll let the people know.
We'll let the people know.
Because there is a segment of the populace. It's like, I'm not paying for Peacock, but I will go to your bar and spend money to sit there for 4 hours.
But yes, Bob, we're all being taken for a ride for sure.
Yep.
I I just accepted it. Enjoy the ride, I guess. Keep paying that Peacock money. We'll come back. Allan Bell will join us. We could ask him about some of this stuff. I'm sure he has takes on streaming and cable and things like that. Also the NFL. Derrick Henry, is he going to get traded today? Seems like no.
Come on. No. You see how good he looked in those Oilers jerseys?
AB's next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
This team is giving everything they've got. They're going out there against some longer odds, and they're finding a way. There's a grit that has been lacking in this program for a long time. This team's got it.
I think sometimes, you want the end result immediately. This is nowhere near the end result.
Oh, no.
And yet they're still finding success.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Bellevue Berry and Pumpkin Ranch from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Bright, breezy, and cold for your Halloween with a high today of 35, but feeling like the 20s. For trick-or-treaters tonight, bone chilling with temperatures into the upper 20s, lower 30s, feeling like the lower 20s with clear skies. Becoming partly cloudy overnight, a low of 21, feeling like 13. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7. The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
Come visit Omaha's own little corner of France, Les Voltaire, for mouth-watering appetizers and entrees, plus melt-in-your-mouth desserts and an extensive brunch menu on Sundays from 10 to 2. Dinner or brunch with friends, for a special occasion, entertaining clients, or just chilling with French wines with your favorite someone. Les Voltaire will make you feel right at home. Reserve their private party room today for birthdays, rehearsal dinners, and retirement parties. Les Voltaire, just off 156th and West Dodge Road in Pepperwood Village, and at lesvoltaireomaha.com.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults.
Nothing is everything.
Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Here's today's Husker Max Practice Report, brought to you by Tickets for Less on 1180 and 1620 The Zone.
Nebraska football is favored in their next matchup against 2-6 Michigan State, but head coach Matt Rule is making sure that his team doesn't overlook any opponent.
So if we expect that the game's going to go one way and it doesn't, sometimes we're caught, right? So we expect every game to come down to the very last play. We've got to throw a Hail Mary, kick the game-winning field goal, or make a 4th and 1 stop to win the game. And that way, nothing ever bothers you.
Rule gave an update on defensive back Marquise Buford, who's been recovering from an injury he suffered against Wisconsin last year.
Keys tried to practice a little bit last week. Was sore each day afterwards. So, I don't know if he'll be ready to go or not this week. We'll have to wait and see. Probably be a game-time decision, in terms of, hey, he wants to go, but is he ready to go?
Rule said it will be all about preventing further injury for Buford. For The Zone, I'm Matt McMaster.
The Husker Max Practice Report, brought to you by Tickets for Less on 1180 and 1620 The Zone.
Attention all you Husker football fans. This season, get ready to cheer on your Huskers like never before. Tickets for Less is offering an exclusive deal that'll have you jumping out of your seat. Use the promo code THEZONE and save big on Husker tickets for every game, home and away. From the electrifying home opener to intense conference matchups, Tickets for Less has you covered. Don't miss a single moment of the gridiron action. Visit ticketsforless.com today. Use promo code THEZONE and secure your seat to witness the Huskers live on the field this season. Hurry, this offer won't last forever.
Get ready to start the NFL week off right, because right now all customers can get a no sweat same game parlay for Thursday night football. Hi everybody, Gary Sharp along with Nick Hanley. All you have to do is you just have to place a 3-leg same game parlay on the huge Week 9 Thursday night matchup between the Titans and the Steelers, and you'll get bonus bets back if you don't win, Nick.
Yeah, NFL same-game parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday. Whether you want to put Kenny Pickett in one of those same-game parlays or not, you can build your own, or you can choose from one of the popular same-game parlays pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. Visit FanDuel.com, use the promo code ZONE, that's FanDuel.com/zone, so you don't miss out on your chance to get a no-sweat same-game parlay on America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Iowa. Refund issued as non-withdrawable. Bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
We get a comment here from the on the streaming wars. We got plenty of comments actually. Here's Dion.
Hi, Dion.
Screw Peacock. I'm not watching that bleep or paying for that bleep. I'll listen to it on the radio. Bleep it.
Well, actually, he wrote F.
Yes.
It.
Yes. I put in the bleep for him. Which, by the way, can they start if they wanted to on these Peacock broadcasts? Could they cuss?
They could. Now, I believe like it's repurposed later on like Big Ten Network
for TV.
So,
yeah. It would just cause a lot of work for somebody.
Yeah.
The NBC bleeper.
Theoretically.
Yeah, guys, I'm sorry that I don't have more of an opinion on this. I'm like, I still have to pay for all the same stuff that, like, I don't want to be sitting up here being like, well, he's a media guy, you know, he's up in his ivory tower and he gets all the services. But like, I pay handsomely for all of the TV that I have to have.
Yep.
And that I feel like I have to have. And that conveniences me. I'm just not real fired up about it.
No,
I don't like it. I'm just not fired up about it. I'm sorry.
Connor and I are both of an age where we're like, yep, that's the cost of doing business. I don't care.
Maybe that's a me personal, like, financial thing. I'm just bad at money. It's very, very possible, you know, but like, I'm just not, I'm not too fired up about it at the moment. Joyo says, Peacock stream means we can't tailgate. Like, you can't use it at your. I actually think it would be easier to use it at your tailgate, right?
Oh, you can do this. Iowa Western, their home games, there's a tailgate, and they're on the streaming services there. So
Yeah.
I don't know how, but it's very possible.
Yeah. Like, it's the difference between like how how the app is set up, right?
Wi-Fi hotspot and
that's what you need.
Roku stick.
You don't
Google
need
stick.
you don't need to plug in your TV to the wall anymore, and like it's made to go to your iPad. It's made to go to your phone. It's
cast it off
over your
phone.
TV.
Yeah,
so like, there's an adjustment there. I totally understand that. I only like to watch TV when I'm sitting at home and it's on channel 31 or channel 10 or channel 9 or whatever. Like, I agree with you guys, but there's just there's a lot of other stuff out there, and I will not even think twice when I go watch Nebraska on Peacock against Maryland on November 11th. I will not even really think about it. Do they archive the games on there, by the way? Because I was thinking about it. I think I'm busy that day, so I can't really watch the game.
Oh my goodness.
So that'll be nice. It'll just be archived right on there for me instead of me having to go back the next day and pull stuff off of a random dude's like college football 10,000 YouTube page. That's kind of nice.
You don't DVR at all?
I do.
Okay.
I suppose I could use that as well.
Well,
Sometimes-
obviously not for the Peacock game,
Yeah,
but for
sometimes I forget about it.
games in general.
Sometimes I just forget about it.
Any game I want, I just go, oh, what was the closest game of the day? Okay.
You DVR all that stuff?
Every college football game.
You DVR every college football game?
Yeah.
I don't have room on mine. My DVR's filled up with like
YouTube TV, no space limit.
Oh, that's nice. My DVR's all filled up with like Dancing with the Stars and The Bachelor and like Sister Wives and stuff like that. It's all on there. So I only get so much amount of space that's dedicated to me, which is fine, because I don't put much on there. All right. Speaking of, by the way, a ticking time bomb I mentioned earlier. Did you happen to see the clip from Dabo Sweeney's radio show last night? They had a caller call into the show. And I know people were wondering on Twitter, like, hey, what's the deal with the call screener? Like, is the call screener going to get fired? No. This is what the radio shows involving the coaches, the call-in shows, are built for. You call in, and if you got enough cojones, you tell the coach how you feel.
Yeah.
Just like the Indiana guy at Tom Allen's thing. And, it got pretty ugly during the Scott Frost time, but actually just sad during Scott Frost's, final season as well. You all saw the way that was going to go. And so things have gotten ugly as Josh has made a graphic for it at Clemson this year. And people are frustrated. They've won a lot of games. And so a guy named Tyler called into the show and he said, hey, my name's Tyler. I just wanted to, ask you why you make $11.5 million. And he compared him to Tommy Bowden. And he didn't even get done. He was going on a whole 2-3 minute deal of like, hey, what's the deal? He got into the fact that the caller got into the fact that Dabo is a religious man and you're a man of faith and all this stuff. And Dabo cut him off.
Dabo considers himself a man of faith.
Yes, just like Tom Brenneman. He cut him off. He was like, okay, Tyler, I think your time's up now. Time for me to talk. And he goes into this whole thing about, and we won't play the audio because it's like 6 minutes long. But I'll give you the cliff notes. Dabo basically fired back and he goes, well, everybody has a bad year sometimes. We won 2 national championships over the last 7 years. Nobody does that. Basically, we sucked before I got here. We were an average program before I got here. And yes, we're having a bad year this year. Dabo kind of took responsibility for it while at the same time saying, you're the problem. This is the problem. And I got to tell you, I can't help but sympathize with college football coaches a little bit because, he's right. People want, people want everything everywhere all the time. You want your team to win every single year. And if you're used to winning, then you're used to winning and you can't take losing anymore. Right. So, Dabo really got after it on the radio show last night. He's like, hey, look, you're the problem. This is the issue. Everything is fine within our program. Now, there's some stuff in there that's kind of debatable, right? Is it okay? Is everything okay? I think it's fair for people to ask questions, but the demands from fans, it comes off as sort of entitlement a lot, but that's what happens when you get good. Fans get entitled. They want more. They want to win every single year. They want to win a championship every single year. You win a championship, you are the victim of your own, your own success. It's happened to a lot of coaches around the country everywhere. And then the expectations get put on them, whether it's fairly or unfairly, and you're like, God, I can't live up to this. And so I sympathize with both, the fan and the caller,
but also
the fan and the Dabo.
When you're the guy standing up there saying, hey, these kids can't be getting money because I'm barely getting any money.
No, it sounds bad.
And
it sounds bad.
We can't be using the transfer portal because that means I'm not a good recruiter.
It sounds bad.
Yeah.
They're and that's the other thing about losing college football games as a college football coach, especially when you've done nothing but win. You're 4-4 and everything that you say sounds bad because if your team's not winning, then what sort of ground that you have to stand upon, right? That's the way it always went with Scott Frost. I think people at first were like, oh, wow, they had the best practice ever.
Really?
And then by the fourth year, it was like, I don't want to hear this anymore.
Just win a damn game.
I don't care about any of this stuff anymore.
You know, Jesus gives his toughest soldiers their toughest tests.
So,
Dabo did show up at the press conference today.
do you apologize?
He asked everyone, he said, hey, hope everyone has a happy Halloween. Who's everybody dressing up as tonight? You know, just kind of some banter before the press conference. And somebody said, Tyler from Spartanburg. Everybody, including Dabo, laughed.
Oh,
so
good.
Like, it seems like he can take it, even though I don't think he can actually take it.
I know, like he is an interesting character because I want to like sympathize with him because he's a good coach, right? He's a good coach. Can we say that?
Yes.
He's a good football coach. They've won a lot. But you know, maybe Tyler and Spartanburg attack the wrong thing, attack the wrong area. Like maybe you go after like, hey, are you willing to adapt and adjust?
Hey, you willing to maybe hit the portal?
Right. That seems like an issue at this point. But it when it becomes about results, the waters can get really, really, really muddy there. To the phones here we go to the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. It's Doug. Hi, Doug.
Hey guys. Hey, I know we're all glass is half full type of a thing right now. We're at 5 wins, but 5 is not 6. And we are 1 injury away to Harburg, who he's serviceable. He gets first down. I mean, he goes up to Michigan State, and he gets hurt. Then we have 2 other highly, highly questionable quarterbacks. I just think, we could go through the line of other games and say, oh, that's winnable. But, if Heinrich goes down, I mean, like it becomes a completely different exercise. And he's already been banged up. And, I don't know. I just think, I'm not being a naysayer here, but like we all just need to remember that also. I mean, we're kind of hard here. So
yeah, I get you. I get you, Doug, and thanks for the call. But I'll come back with this. Like first of all, we've made the case the entire year, and maybe you disagree with this, that I don't think there's one indispensable player on this football team. I don't think there's one single player where you're like, damn, we thought that was Sims, and they ended up having to play Heinrich Harburg. Right? Think about that. It just put it in context of the entire rest of the season.
And he lapped Jeff Sims.
Right. So, like, even if you take Heinrich out, I know they've built the offense for him. It's the true mark of a really good coaching staff and a good head coach that I don't know how much it would fall off if you lost that guy. So I kind of disagree with the premise. I really do. I know he's the focal point of what they're doing right now, but they've adapted things to fit him, just like they would adapt things to fit Chubba Purdy and the fourth string walk-on guy, whatever his name is. I always forget his name. I think they would be fine. I think they'd be fine. And obviously the context is a schedule here, right? But I understand guarding against, it's like, hey, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. It's very possible that they lose all 4 of these games. But it's also possible that they win them at this point. So the truth is somewhere in the middle there. The truth is somewhere. Like, do you think Nebraska's going to win 1 out of their next 4? I do. I just do. So we'll have a big celebration after this week or next week or the 3rd week or the 4th week, whatever might happen. But yeah, Nebraska's going to go to a bowl game.
I get this.
Nebraska's going to a bowl game.
I get the spirit of the call, though. Hey, you're not there until you're there. I get that.
Like
I think it's going to happen.
Don't get this confused. Like, I don't think Nebraska has arrived as a program. Like, and we got a text about yesterday. Like, hey, don't you think this season has a little bit of, fool's gold to it? It's like, yeah, but sure. Are they as good as when you look around the country as if they win 8 games this year, if they win 7 games this year, are they as good as other 7-win teams?
Nope.
Probably not. But you play your schedule.
Yeah.
You play your schedule and you won 7 games, and this is what this program needs. This program needs confidence. This program needs an edge to it. And they just haven't had it. They've been so beaten up for the last decade. So I don't really care how they would like if you power ranked all the 7-win teams in the country at the end of the season. I don't really care if they're last. Just like I don't care when you do the when you go through the NCAA tournament, you know how they re-rank all the teams when they get to the Sweet 16. I don't care for 16th. You're in the damn Sweet 16.
You're still alive, baby.
You're the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's at some point it's got to be about results, right?
I forget the segment that it was yesterday. We alluded to like, but they're doing the thing we've asked them to do for 10 years where it's like, I know what you're going to do. I know who you're going to beat and who you're not going to beat. I know how you're going to perform each Saturday. It's not a damn mystery where, well, are they going to come out there and look prepared? Or
which Nebraska are we going to get?
Yeah, yeah.
It's not that anymore.
We
know who
I've got a pretty darn good idea of what type of offense they're going to run, what the defense is going to allow to happen on them, and other things like that.
That doesn't mean that they can't lose these games.
Right.
They firmly fall in the middle, but at least they do, right? They firmly fall within the gray area. But I mean, I don't know. I just and they get a little edge to them, right? They could finish off some games. They just did 3 times in a row. Well, we didn't trust them to do once. Could this season have gone off the rails? Could they have only won 3 or 4 games this year? Absolutely. But they just won 3 games in a row. Like, that means something. So I get it. But Nebraska's going to a bowl game. Prepare for it. Prepare for some success. Put aside some money. And maybe start putting aside some more for the Big Ten championship game. We got a good text here before we take a break.
Love a good text.
Cody on our text line. Connor has some old man takes, and just when I think he's becoming a young, talking about TV and streaming, he drops channels 31, 9, etc. like a true old. Not ESPN or ABC. He actually says the channel numbers, 31 and 9. That's fair.
That is an old man thing.
That's
I don't know what networks are in the game, but I know damn well it's on 31.
Damn it. Come on. What channel is the game on?
It's not on 31. Not every sporting event is on 31, Grandpa.
Grandpa, it's on Fox Sports 1. I don't know what Fox Sports 1 is. Tell me what number it is. Is it 31 or is it 9? It's like 78, Grandpa. What the hell? I only get 45 channels. Cartoon Network's the last one. Josh has the odd news when we return on 1620 The Zone.
1620 The Zone's 4-quarter pick'em returns. It's your chance to win $1,620. All you have to do is correctly pick 4 college or NFL games against the spread. Listen to qualify every weekday or enter online at 1620thezone.com. One lucky listener will be selected each week to make their picks live on air.
Awesome.
Go to 1620thezone.com for complete rules and contest details. It's 4-quarter pick'em with 1620 The Zone.
Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is always looking to make your game day bigger and better. Cheer on your favorite team this season in front of a 22-foot LED video wall showing up to 8 games at once. TVs are everywhere else you can look with a state-of-the-art audio and video system. Enjoy a big old pizza or award-winning char-buffed wings. There's just no better way to do your game day. Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and West Center Road. And for takeout at 162nd and Maple.
You know, if we know anything, it's that local matters. Local shops, local restaurants, even locally brewed beers. October is Drink Local Month. So the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild is challenging beer, seltzer, and cider drinkers like you to put your palate through its paces and drink local brews. Because seriously, Nebraska is really on the cutting edge when it comes to brewers who think outside the box. And besides, you really want to be drinking what they drink over in Iowa? Didn't think so. Click nebraska.beer to find brews near you.
With over 45 years in business, Thrasher Foundation Repair makes stressful home repairs super easy with precise repair and genuine care. From basement waterproofing to foundation repair, concrete restoration, and crawl space repair, you can count on Thrasher to handle it with ease and expertise. Schedule a free estimate today at gothrasher.com.
Precise repair, genuine care, Thrasher.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees, The Source, by your mom's house.
There's nothing like football season here in Nebraska.
Hi, this is Sunny.
And I'm Darwin with DJ's Dugout.
During football season, a portion of our sales at DJ's will be donated to the new Nebraska Vietnam Veterans Memorial Project being built in Papillion.
As a Vietnam veteran, I'm proud for DJ's to support the new Nebraska Vietnam Veterans Memorial.
To learn more about this meaningful project, visit nvvmf.org. DJ's Dugout is locally and Vietnam veteran owned.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Breast cancer is among the most common types of cancers in the United States and accounts for 1 of 3 new female cancers every year. Get familiar with your own breasts with self-exams, and if something doesn't feel right, get it checked out. Find out more at cancer.org.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long. And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Otson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
Josh has the odd news. We get a tweet here from Max.
Hi, Max.
Hi, guys. Can't believe I forgot about this, but even when Huskers win, Husker fan bitches. I told before the if told before the season that the Huskers are going to be 5-3, I'd take it and run with no questions asked. It's one of my favorite games to play in the preseason. Honestly, we should have said it after last week. Just it's perspective, right? After the Purdue game, Nebraska is 5-3. That is their record. 5-3. In August, if asked that question, do you sign on the dotted line or do you roll the dice?
You sign. You would have all signed up for this exact thing.
I think you sign because it's like it's where it would be a conservative guess on where I thought they could have been. You could have convinced me that they could have been like 6-2 at that point. But if you know, nobody preseason thought the Colorado thing was going to happen the way it happened. But you know, so I probably thought that they were going to be in the neighborhood of 6-2 or 5-3. I would have thought they would have lost to Illinois. But yeah, I would have signed, Max. I would have signed for sure. That doesn't mean you have to be just happy all the time. Woo! Everything with our program is great. Doesn't mean that.
Yeah, it's not perfect right now, but I mean, it feels good.
I feel great. I believe. All right, Josh, what do we got today?
We have stories that are odd. It's the odd news.
That's good. I was hoping so.
Where do I want to start? Okay. Let's start with Flavor Flav. This is from over the weekend.
Oh, what's he up to?
Did you hear Flavor Flav sing the national anthem?
No.
At the Milwaukee Bucks game over the weekend, Connor?
No.
Well,
why did they have him do that?
Well, that's a great question that I don't really have the answer for, but let's let Flavor Flav tell us exactly what happened.
The singing of the Star-Spangled Banner performed tonight by 6-time Grammy Award-nominated rapper and artist Flavor Flav.
Take it away, Flav.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early life.
The camera is now panning over a group of Boy Scouts who look incredibly confused.
Oh man.
Um,
Just have a little girl do it.
Yeah.
All the little girls do great.
Have Flavor Flav introduce the little girl if you're so dead set on Flavor Flav being there.
You're right.
Now,
I've never seen a bad version of a national anthem from a little girl.
It certainly doesn't go viral.
Even the one where Mo Cheeks had to save the little girl.
That's right.
She did great. It was awesome.
What a great moment that was.
What a great moment.
Uh-huh.
Have little girls do the national anthem.
Yes,
That's it.
all the time.
If ever, if you can get a really good recording artist, and they're good at live performing, then that's good too. If you can get the guy who, what's the guy that's name? The country singer who always does the national anthem for everything because he's like a college football fan. I feel like he's done the last 3 national championship games, whatever that guy's name is. Get him. If not, get a little girl. The little girl will do great.
Shannon Sharp shared that video that we played and titled it "No Boy," playing on Flav's catchphrase of "Yeah, boy." Flava Flav himself afterwards said, quote, "The anthem was a long-time bucket list item. That was fun."
How'd the replies go?
Not great.
Okay.
Not great.
Yeah. Well,
I like that he took it seriously, though.
I like different national anthems.
Uh-huh.
I always love, at Warner Park all the time. We get the guy probably a handful of times a year. He comes in with a saxophone, or the guy a handful of times a year comes in with a guitar. Like I love those. Those are sweet. Or the trumpet guy. Nothing like a trumpet national anthem, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Trumpet national anthems are best at baseball games, though, because you get the big booming noise. Baseball games opening day. If you give me opening day baseball, a little 3:00 start, it's cold, but the spring is on the way, and a trumpet guy is playing the national anthem, it's chills automatically. I might know Sean Moreno cry. Just the one big teardrop falling out of my eyeball.
I do think it was better than Fergie's rendition of the national anthem.
The sexy national anthem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's play some basketball.
That was a rough one too.
You never saw her again.
Also, like Jeff writes in the text line.
Hi, Jeff.
Like, it's not only that it was bad, it's also that it was slow. You have to stand there for 4 minutes while this guy tries to rip through the national anthem. Tough hang.
And like, you can't go, oh, this is going terribly, let me speed it up halfway through.
No, you got to stay consistent on your tempo.
We stay in basketball for story number 2.
Oh, is it about James Harden?
No. This is about your Denver Nuggets. As the Utah Jazz had a big game last night against the Nuggets. Yet fans who tuned into the team's radio network to hear the start of the game must have been surprised that it wasn't there.
I did hear about this.
Jazz broadcaster David Locke shared some bad news. Turns out a fan in Denver's Ball Arena, a.k.a. the Mason Jar, had spilled beer over the control board at the broadcast. Locke posted on, and this is what the media companies have to do now, posted on X, formerly Twitter. Apologies, a guy just spilled beer all over our radio engineer controls, so we're unable to start with the game broadcast. Hopefully back up shortly.
Pretty good. Pretty funny.
They missed about the entirety of the first quarter and got back into it just in time for the Jazz to lose to the Denver Nuggets.
I'll say this, like as a radio guy who has been courtside in these cramped areas for broadcast before, brag, it's your worst nightmare. It is your worst nightmare. You are very, if you're anything like me, you are very protective of the equipment. You realize that you're in charge of this thing, and you owe people a responsibility who are listening on air because you've told them that you're going to be on air at this time. Like you are very protective of that. So if anybody is around you, if anybody touches your stuff, and especially if it's an area that's open to fans with beers, drinks, food, whatever it might be, that are going to get thrown around, it's a concern at all times. So this is your worst nightmare as a broadcaster. That it hurts me to hear that a little bit, actually, Josh. That's not fun.
Little triggering.
little triggering. Now, luckily, it's not a high school football game where it's like, well, I guess we're out $5,000. We got to go get some new radio equipment, and we're not doing this game tonight. Luckily, they could just plug in another thing. But yeah, that's worst nightmare. Not great. Next,
we end in Florida today. A 23-year-old facing several charges after he used a note to rob a Florida CVS of various drugs. According to Orlando police, officers were called to a CVS for reports of a robbery. Pharmacy employees told police that a man identified as Thomas Maines, 23, handed them a note, indicated he had a gun, and would shoot them if the list of pills provided was not given to him.
Sounds pretty standard.
Yeah, but let me read the note. Clear out. This is going to take a while.
Oh.
This is a armed robbery. Please cooperate. I don't want to hurt you. You are not to alarm anybody, or I will shoot the closest person to me. Please follow these directions, or I will shoot the person closest to me. Bag the following: oxycodone, 5 milligrams, 7.5 milligrams, 10 milligrams, 15 milligrams, and it goes on and on and on. Hydrocodone, 5 milligrams, 7.5, 10 milligrams, Xanax, and then a number of different prescription levels, Adderall, and then a number of different prescription strengths, liquid codeine, Viagra, 100 milligrams.
This guy went for the whole lot.
He did. When finished, place note in bag and lay down.
How'd this go for him?
Not great. Officers caught him walking out of the store, and after a short foot pursuit, the man was arrested while still holding on to the narcotics and handwritten note.
Yeah, so the thing that people don't really, and this is probably a really long thought out idea by this guy. It's like if I do this and I do it really carefully and calmly, I'm gonna get in, I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna do this the quiet way. What people don't realize is that there's a lot of contingencies in this place, so this in play here. So this exact thing is not allowed. That people can't just walk away. Oh, I see it in movies all the time. The cops will never get to me before I'm gone.
I'm wearing a nun costume, and I'll drive away after robbing Fenway Park
in a mask. They're gonna find you. They're gonna find you.
You're not smart.
No. That's one thing to always remember. Whenever you think you're smart, you have to think, I'm not that smart.
Wicked smart.
You'd be better off in the world if you thought that all the time. Josh, thank you.
Thank you, Connor.
We will return. Dive into the spreadsheet. Just how much is Nebraska's defense carrying the weight right now? You could see it with your eyes, but I'm going to tell it to you from the spreadsheet, which I'll tweet out in here just a moment at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Check that out. Follow along as we return next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Do you hear what we hear? Omaha Steaks has tons of jobs and hours. Right now, we're hiring for a variety of seasonal positions in our warehouses. Make this holiday extra jolly with a great employee discount on gourmet foods you can use all year long. To view available job openings and to apply online, go to omahasteaks.com/jobs or text steaks to 22633 to apply today. 'Tis the season to make some holiday cash at Omaha Steaks.
Creighton Sports Update. Hey, Blue Jay fans, it's volleyball and soccer season here at Creighton. So get your tickets and come out and support your Blue Jays. For tickets, go to Ticketmaster.com, gocreighton.com/tickets, or visit the office located at the Ryan Athletic Center. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
O'Reilly. Protect your engine better with Syntec Full Synthetic High Mileage Motor Oil, only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec High Mileage is formulated for today's engines with over 75,000 miles. Now get 5 quarts of Syntec High Mileage and a MicroGuard Select oil filter for just $34.99. Limits apply. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call on the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Maverick Homecoming is this weekend as your Omaha Mavericks hockey team takes on the 11th ranked Western Michigan Broncos on November 3rd and 4th. And we are less than 1 week away from the men's and women's basketball home opener. The men take on Doane and the women play Illinois State on Monday, November 6th. Basketball season tickets are still available. Get your tickets now by calling the box office at 402-554-MAVS or by going to omavs.com/tickets. Let's pack the Baxter.
All right, welcome back. More of the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. I got a quick one for you before we dive into the drive chart from David Ubben of The Athletic. Deion Sanders called on the Rose Bowl to reimburse players for what was stolen during Saturday's game. If you missed it, Colorado had some things stolen from their locker room, jewelry and items like that, which, of course, they feel as if they need to travel with. It's part of their persona as a team.
Sure.
Point at their wrists all the time. Deion's quote reads as the following. "This is the Rose Bowl. They say the granddaddy of them all, right? I'm sure granddaddy has some money."
I'm actually okay with this.
I am too. You call out the Rose Bowl for being old all the time. It'd be great. Good job, Deion.
And you shouldn't have your stuff stolen, even if there's no reason for you to have it in the locker room. It's a locker room. Your stuff should be secure.
All I know is, like, if I'm
this isn't JUCO.
You should have definitely the security. But if I'm a football player, I'm constantly guarding against. If I'm anybody, I'm just constantly against. I cannot relate because I am. Like, for example, my car. Like, if somebody were to steal my car, it's like, oh, it's a kind of a nice car, but maybe I can get some extra by seeing what's inside of it. Looking in my car window, you'll see nothing. You'll see nothing that identifies me. You'll see nothing that looks remotely stealable.
That's by design.
By design. I want to dissuade you from going into my car. I don't think the Colorado players are dissuading people from going into their locker room. Not that it's all on them, but you could just not bring the cool stuff. Leave it at the apartment.
It's not the brand.
No. You're right, Josh. It indeed is not. To the drive chart, which has been tweeted out at Connor Happer, also retweeted by at Happer Show on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Like I said, I started this earlier in the year, mostly to keep track of the offense and how bad it is. And then I decided, you know what, I'm going to throw the defense on here too. And I've actually come up with a lot more nuggets from the defensive side. Here's the offensive cliff notes, Josh.
Lay them on me.
Nebraska has had 90 drives this year on offense. And I try to take all of the the kneel down drives out, end of half drives, that aren't trying to score.
get a realer sense of what's happening.
90 drives for Nebraska's offense that I've tracked this year. 20% of them end in a turnover.
I'm sorry, I'm eating. Did you say 20% in a turnover?
Just spit out your food. Yes. I should have made you do a spit take there. What? 20% of 90 drives have ended in a turnover? According to the information that I've tracked, yes.
That's a fifth.
That's right. 1 out of every 5 Nebraska drives ends in a turnover. Either a fumble or an interception. And that does not include the fumble on the opening kickoff, on Saturday against Purdue. That's not really much at all. So, yep. Something to note there.
Okay. Don't like that. It's not good for the record.
So that's 18. 18% of the drives end in a turnover. 38 out of the 90 end in a punt. So that is 62% of Nebraska's drives that end in either a punt or a turnover. And then I could add in missed field goals, which would be 3 more. So then we're looking at 41. We're looking at basically 60 out of 90 drives that end in no points for Nebraska.
Okay.
Nebraska's made 5 field goals this year. They've had 20 touchdowns. So about just a hair more of their drives end in touchdowns than they do in turnovers at this point. That's the story of Nebraska's offense through 8 games. And there's really not much more to it. It's still bad. Their average starting field position is 28.7. That's what they start on the 28.7 yard line. Their average drive takes 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And they average about 5 play. Now, that's a little misleading. It's a little misleading. Like this, some of this is expectation, right? I mean, I could look right here. I think their longest drive this year is 7 minutes. In the 7-minute range. Let's see. Let's just make sure. Actually, they had an 8-minute, this last game against Purdue, they had the 8-minute and 52-second drive, 15 plays, 87 yards, and a touchdown. That was their best drive of the season. That's their longest drive of the year. I mean, they have a lot of drives that last 1 second because they threw a pick. I'm just saying. That's the offense. But what I really want to focus on is the defense. So I added some other numbers in here if you're following along. This might make a little bit more sense to you. So I started to put it in like how Nebraska's opponents obtain the football, right? To sort of get a better sense of the position that Nebraska's defense is being put in here. So there's a lot to be said for that still. But I noticed on Saturday, and we'll see more of this down the stretch here, obviously field position is becoming a really major part of this thing. If Nebraska can have their opponents start, it just felt like to me, and a lot of this is like that's the impetus of it, that's how it starts. If Nebraska's defense can start at an advantageous position, there's almost no chance that they're getting points. And that has been the truth. That has been confirmed in this. So I did it sort of every 5-yard line from the 20 to the 35. So when Nebraska opponents start on their own 20 or inside of it or less, there's been 28 drives that meet that criteria this year against Nebraska's defense out of 94 that they've faced. Only 4 out of the 28 have ended in points. That's the 20-yard line. All right. That's the 20-yard line. It's not even that bad, right? But Nebraska's getting stops on more than 85% of the drives that start on the opponent's 20 or inside of it. That's a great number.
Yeah.
That's a great number. When you bump that up to the 25-yard line,
like a touchback.
Like Nebraska's faced 54 drives defensively this year, which is about a little less than 60% of their drives this year that have started on the opponent's 25 or less. The opponents have started there or less. And Nebraska's getting stops on a little under 80% of those drives. 11 times the opponents have scored out of 54 drives. 7 touchdowns and 4 field goals. It's still a really good number. And so then I did 30, 35, and there's not much delineation between the two. The numbers are still good for Nebraska. And then I bumped it up to the 35. The 35 is great field position, right?
Yeah, you'd like that.
The 35 is great field position. So any drive that starts on the 35 or more, so the 36, the 37, the 50, the other 40, the other 30, the other 20, the other 10, right? Any drive that meets that criteria. Opponents have started those drives 32 times this year against Nebraska's defense. And Nebraska's still only given up points on 14 of the 32 drives. It's about 44% of the time that they're scoring against them. So that's where the number obviously jumps up. But still, my takeaway from that is that was still a great number, Josh.
Yes.
If you're only giving up touchdowns or field goals, and by the way, it's 9 touchdowns and 5 field goals, on 44% of the drives that start on the 35 or greater, I still think that's really good. And that backs up what the eye test says, doesn't it? Doesn't that back up what we've thought this year? Like when put in bad situations, they still come to play.
Yeah.
They are still there.
They're not resigned to their fate. Like, oh, I guess they're going to get 3 here, or I guess they're going to score.
I mean, but it goes to show you when you put them in bad situations, and Purdue Purdue started drives on their own 17, their own 25, their own 25, their own 20, their own 28, their own 25, their own 7, their own 12. They had a couple drives that started in plus territory, including the first one of the game that started on Nebraska's, quick math here, 32-yard line. They ended up actually pushing them back and then forced a turnover on downs on that possession. Like it's not like teams have had this super advantageous field position, but it goes to show you when you give them some field to work with, there's a little bend but don't break to this defense. But when Nebraska, I think they're starting to turn the corner, and here come the turnovers now. Obviously the weather is a part of this. But I think they're starting to turn the corner of, all right, maybe they're going to drive on. It starts at maybe they're going to drive on us and maybe they'll get 3 points out of this. To Nebraska, it feels as if on defense they're playing downhill now, and especially when they have a bunch of the field behind them, right? When teams are up against with their backs up against the wall at their own 10, at their own 20, it feels as if Nebraska's defense is actually playing downhill now. You know what that is? It's just confidence. It's just doing it over and over again. The defense is playing with so much confidence right now. And once again, field position makes all the difference. So if you start on your own 20 or less, and this is where the punt game comes in, and this is where not turning the freaking ball over comes into play. If Nebraska can somehow get opponents started on their 20 or inside, it's pretty much a guarantee that Nebraska is not going to allow points. And I don't think that strays from any, national average. The numbers would obviously go down, but 85% of the time, almost 86% of the time, Nebraska is getting stops on those possessions. But it just hasn't happened as much this year because of the way that the team has turned the ball over on the offensive side of the ball. The bulk numbers that I mentioned with the offense, average starting field position for Nebraska's opponents is about the 31-yard line. So it's, a whole 4 yards worse than where Nebraska's offense starts. That makes a big deal. That makes a big difference over time. Nebraska has forced opponents into punting on 45 out of the 94 defensive drives they've faced this year, which is just a hair under 48%. It's a good number.
Yeah.
That's a good number. Out of those, 26 of them have been 3 and outs, which is about 28% of Nebraska's drives. Nebraska's defense's drives. They've only given up 16 touchdowns. That happens on 17% of their drives. And they still have only turned the football over 10 times this year on the defensive side, which is about 10% of the opponent's drives. So that number obviously can still grow. And then 15% of opponents' drives end in a field goal attempt. But that, as long as that number of the punts is forcing punts around 50%. Nebraska is going to be just fine. Nebraska is going to be just fine.
Travis adds in on YouTube.
Hey, Travis.
And those defensive numbers include a lackluster performance against Michigan.
They do. It's all things considered, baby. It's everything. That Michigan game definitely hurt a little bit to plug in. That's for sure. Michigan, was so efficient. Michigan did. So how many touchdowns did I say they've given up this year on defense? 16. They've given up 16 touchdowns on defense. Michigan was responsible for 6.
Okay.
One game had 6.
That's a good chunk.
That is a good chunk. So in the 7 other games, Nebraska's given up 10 touchdowns.
That's really good.
That's really good. That's going to win you some football games. And it has. That's it. That's what Nebraska's defense has done this year. So yeah. There's a lot of sort of complicated numbers in there. But it's starting to take on the real look of, man, this defense can carry. I was curious. We were curious all the way up until last week. Can they start forcing turnovers? And we asked the question to a lot of our guests, like, what's going to happen? What has a better chance of happening? Nebraska's offense cleaning up the turnovers or Nebraska's defense grabbing some? And I think everybody unanimously said, I think it's the offense cleaning it up a little bit. I'm just not sure if it lives inside this defense. I think they're really starting to play downhill. They're really starting to play with some confidence. Mm-hmm. And as a result of that, the picks are now going to come and the fumbles are now going to come. And at the perfect time, right? You're through the easy part of your schedule. You're going into a more challenging part in November, and the weather is going to, help you out in that case a little bit as well. I think they're going to get some more down the stretch here. If the offense can just clean it up a little bit, Nebraska has a real chance to win the Big Ten West. That's what this tells me. Because I think the turnovers are going to start coming now on defense.
Do you have in here their straight up stop rate, success rate?
Yeah. I would just have to add it together.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why it's not a part of the spreadsheet that already exists. So that would be every drive that doesn't end in a field goal or a touchdown, correct?
Right.
So 94 drives. Nebraska has given up a touchdown 16 times, and they've given up a field goal 10 times. So the number would be
27.6%.
The inverse of that.
Okay.
So 73.
Yeah.
73-ish%, a little more than 73%. Where does that rank right now? Do you have it? Did Max put that out yet today?
No, I just wanted to compare it to Iowa
I mean,
Western.
I think, oh, really? Yeah. What's Iowa Western's?
Their stop rate is 82%. Their success rate is 32.
I would imagine that the leaders around the country are probably in the low to mid 80s at this point.
Yeah.
And when you consider what happened to Michigan, in the Michigan game, I think, where Nebraska's at is pretty impressive. And when you consider all of the horrible, horrible spots that Nebraska's offense has put in, not like that's the difference between Iowa and Nebraska. Like Iowa's defense looks better on paper because they're being put in better positions. Their offense is bad, but it doesn't turn the ball over, at least as much. Right. And that's what makes the difference between a great defense and a truly statistically great defense.
Last update from Max was a week ago today.
So they'll put it out today at some point.
1, 2, 3, Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State, 88.9% with an asterisk from Michigan, 84.5% from Penn State, 82.4% from Ohio State, UCLA at number 4 with 80%, then Duke at number 5 with 78.8%.
So what would 73% put them at last week? Probably in the 20s as far as a rank is concerned.
73%.
Yeah, that's the number we came up with, right?
Liberty is at 19 with 73.2%.
There you go. Nebraska's a top 25 defense by that metric.
On Max's last update, they were 36th with 68.8%.
Yeah, and of course they had a fantastic game this past weekend.
Yeah.
That jumped up. It's trending that way, boys. It's trending that way. The offense could just help them out just a hair. That'd be great.
Iowa at 7. I'm sure a lot of people were wondering, like, hey, Iowa's got a pretty good defense. Where are they at?
Jed tweeted at us this thread from Big Red Junkies. Opponent on drives that the opponent starts in Nebraska territory. So this is at the 50 or greater. There's been 13 of those drives. Nebraska has given up 3 touchdowns, 3 field goals.
How many drives? I'm sorry.
13.
Yeah, you would take that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Nebraska's kicking almost 50%, greater than 50% stop rate on drives that start in their territory. That's insane. Yeah. Only 22.1% of available yards allowed. Pretty wild to think about. And last year, the Big Red Junkies account compared it to last year, which was horrible, and the year before that, which was, remember Nebraska had a pretty good defense that year. This defense is miles ahead of it. Miles ahead of it. All right. We'll come back. NFL reaction, overreaction. Throw some topics in front of the NFL trade deadline, which is in a couple hours. We'll make some proclamations about some teams. It's proclamation time, Josh.
Oh, okay.
Next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on the crossover.
Let me mow it for you. Hire me.
Hire Nick. I don't know if I'll hire you, Nick.
I'm really good at mowing.
Wow. He's offering his services.
Okay, how much do you want to
get him for
charge
cheap?
me? I'm bad at this. I don't want to lowball myself.
You're
canceled.
Totally canceled.
$50, Josh. Give me 50.
For how many times? One time?
Yes.
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Bellevue Berry and Pumpkin Ranch from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Your Tuesday afternoon forecast will include mostly sunny skies along with breezy conditions. Northwest winds will continue to gust as high as 20 to 25 miles an hour throughout the afternoon. Temperatures will be topping out somewhere in the mid to upper 30s. In Omaha, I'm tracking a high of 36 degrees. For tonight, remaining clear and cold. Morning lows dipping into the lower 20s, upper teens. For tomorrow, much warmer with a lot of sunshine with temperatures warming into the lower 50s. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KTV News Watch 7.
Caller 4 right now, 402-951-1620. Qualifies for 1620 The Zone's 4-quarter pick'em. It's your chance to pick 4 football games correctly against the spread to win $1,620. Call 402-951-1620. Call now to qualify with 1620 The Zone.
If you haven't updated your windows, you could be throwing money out the window. Don't let the cool air out. Upgrade today with J-Tech Construction. For a limited time, get 60 months with 0% interest. Plus, as an added bonus, every window gets a special rated UV upgrade for free. Save money, keep the cool air in, and be happier when you upgrade your windows with the official exterior experts of Nebraska Athletics. For more info, go to yourexteriorexperts.com. Subject to credit approval.
If we know anything, it's that local matters. Local shops, local restaurants, even locally brewed beers. October is Drink Local Month. So the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild is challenging beer, seltzer, and cider drinkers like you to put your palate through its paces and drink local brews. Because seriously, Nebraska is really on the cutting edge when it comes to brewers who think outside the box. And besides, you really want to be drinking what they drink over in Iowa? Didn't think so. Click nebraska.beer to find brews near you.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
Get a full breakdown of what went right and what went wrong immediately after every Nebraska game with Big Red Overreaction, presented by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. And by Coors Light, keeping Nebraska chill. Also brought to you by Chase Senate Contracting, Tinman's Collision Center and Mechanical Repair, and Rotella's Italian Bakery. Immediately after the game, join the show and sound off with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Big Red Overreaction with the Keg and 1620 The Zone.
It's Halloween at Genesis Health Clubs. Join with no enrollment fee, no contract, and save 31% per month every month. Hurry, it's the final day. Genesis Health Clubs has top-of-the-line equipment and the absolute best personal trainers, tennis professionals, and group fitness instructors to help keep you motivated and headed towards your fitness goals. Plus, relax in luxury afterwards with saunas, steam rooms, and fluffy towel service. Whatever your fitness needs, Genesis is here to help every step of the way, and there's nothing scary about that. This Halloween, join Genesis Health Clubs with no enrollment fee, no contract, and save 31% per month every single month. This offer ends today, but hurry, this offer will end before you have a chance to count your Halloween candy. It ends on Halloween and won't extend. Come to Genesis and get in the best shape of your life so you can handle anything those zombies, werewolves, and vampires throw at you. Plus, get your New Year's resolutions checked off with time to spare. Join Genesis Health Clubs with no enrollment fee, no contract, and save 31% per month every single month. Join online until midnight. This offer won't extend.
Good boy. At Cox, we think all customers deserve a reliable connection. So whether you're a loyal customer who's been with us for years, or you're new to the family like this little guy, you'll get the same great deals on the same great internet. And no matter who you are. See how you can save at cox.com/deals for all. Other restrictions apply, all rights reserved.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is Cops. Receive 2 $25 gift vouchers for just $25. Cops makes delicious pizza, fresh salads, and tasty charred wings. For the basic menu, click copspizza.com. And for the extended menu, visit them at Shadow Lake Town Center, 180th and Center, and the newly reopened 72nd and Jones locations.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
One quick comment on the spreadsheet here from Travis. Nebraska still loses, but I think given the chance to replay Michigan, the defense plays a lot better and doesn't allow as many points. I think so too. Like, it's starting to take on that feeling of I always explain it this way. At the end of 2018, Frost's first year when they won 4 out of their last 6, I was like, I do not want this season to end. I would go back and play anybody right now, and I feel like Nebraska would be fine. It's starting to take on that feel, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I want to play Minnesota again.
Yeah, would love to have that one back.
I would love to have that back. I would love to play Colorado again. I would love to see what would happen. I think, I don't think they'd beat Michigan, but, just to see what would happen. And then they won all the rest of their games. So
people forget that.
They do. But let's get to NFL reaction, overreaction. It's a trade deadline. That will be taking place in about 2 hours here.
Already had one major name move. Montez Sweat, now a Bear.
Yeah, for some reason the Bears decided to trade draft capital today.
And now there's the reverse critique of that take coming out of, we complained when the news broke, like, why would the Bears trade away draft capital, and now people
You're
are
mad that they're trying to win.
You're mad that you complained about the lack of a pass rush, and now they traded to get a premier pass rusher. And
I think it's great if you want to do that. I just think you have to understand situational awareness.
Yeah.
Situational awareness is exactly what we're going to talk about with most of these teams in reaction overreaction today. So, Josh, fire us up. Let's get us going.
How about we do this first?
Oh, no. What's this about?
A lot of people wondered why the Arizona Cardinals would announce that Josh Dobbs was not playing. That's because he's the newest quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings.
New man on the Minnesota Vikings?
New man on the Minnesota Vikings. Does this get Justin Jefferson to suddenly feel healthier?
Okay, so great. I'm glad. So take us right into our first reaction overreaction.
Oh, okay. The Minnesota Vikings, who are 4-4 and are certainly in the thick of a playoff race, should attempt to sell some parts before the deadline today.
I think what they did just there, if Joshua Dobbs is the placeholder quarterback for the remainder of the year, which it appears to be true, that's the right move. You can live. I think if you're the Vikings, you can live in the middle ground. There's very few teams that I would suggest this to. But I think the Vikings can live in the middle ground for the remainder of this year. There is a playoff spot that is available for you.
And the Vikings hold it right now. If the season ended today, they are the 7 seed and would play not the Atlanta Falcons, would they? Oh, my math's terrible.
Well, they could. I'm not sure what the standings look like at the moment.
The 7 seed would play the 3 seed, right?
The 7 seed would play the 2.
The 2. That's right. There's
only one bye.
Oh, they'd play the Detroit Lions.
That wouldn't be fun.
A very unfamiliar opponent for the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay. But they're not going to win the Super Bowl. Nobody expects them to win the Super Bowl. But I think if you have an opportunity to make the playoffs, right, you take that opportunity. It would be a heel turn for them to go the other way right now. They have a little bit of momentum. I know Kirk Cousins is out, and but
you know that you heard
it would be really disappointing if you're a Vikings fan for them to be like, okay, now that happened, we have to tank our franchise, right?
It's all over here.
Your whole thing just changed in 1 second. I would not like that. So I think it's okay for them to live in the middle ground. I think if they're acquiring Dobbs, that's totally fine with me. So that's an overreaction. You don't need to add. You don't need to. You
Way
don't
to
need
play the result, Connor.
You don't need to add. You don't need to subtract. You could just stay pat. If you're going to get Joshua Dobbs, probably basically for free, because Kyler Murray's coming back, then that's great.
Odd that they would bring Kyler Murray back 2 weeks before a Call of Duty came out.
Also, by the way, for every team that gets a quarterback hurt, we do not have to talk about Tom Brady anymore.
Yeah, stop that.
Don't stop making the memes.
You're an idiot.
Stop making the graphics. Tom Brady's gone. Thank you. Number 2.
The Tennessee Titans should now stay put after Will Levis's giant first game.
This is another interesting one. You could get a lot. I feel like you're probably not going to get a first round pick for him, but you could get a lot for Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
He's Derrick Henry.
I believe they were asking for a 1 and no one wanted to give them a 1, and that is why they have not traded Derrick Henry.
I'd still take a 2 and some other pieces.
Yeah.
For Derrick Henry.
Give me 2 and a pick swap.
Yeah, you're not doing anything with Derrick Henry right now.
Yeah.
I like him. Yeah. Will Levis, while he had a great first game, is not going to be he's not going to be the savior of the franchise. In my opinion, he's not the savior of the franchise.
Yeah, he does one thing very well. He's got a cannon for an arm. He threw it deep a bunch of times, and it worked a bunch of times because there's no film.
And I do
hate Will Levis.
I do hate to see teams okay, we got this quarterback, and we think he's got some stuff, but all of the stuff around him is just so astronomically bad that we can't get a read on him.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Justin Fields. I hate to see quarterbacks put in that. Shout out Bryce Young. I hate to say quarterbacks put in that position. So I'm not saying tear down, but you don't need to go crazy with this deadline today.
Will Levis has already thrown twice as many touchdown passes as Ryan Tannehill this year.
Yeah. And we're talking about Ryan Tannehill for every other quarterback job in the NFL today, too.
Yeah.
If they can get something out of him, they should definitely do that.
Yeah. Take number 3. The San Francisco 49ers, after losing 3 in a row, need to make a move today.
What would they do? Like, what does buying look like for the 49ers?
Make everyone on their team healthy.
That's it. Right? So that's the answer for them. They don't need to do anything.
Buy that.
They don't need I saw somebody out there saying like they need to do another like Christian McCaffrey type trade where they get another star. Why would they need another star? Is the other star going to make everybody healthy? Is the other star going to make Brock Purdy better, from what he has been over the last couple of weeks? We're watching that situation closely, by the way. Brock,
it's teetering.
Brock on the clock at the moment. What would they do? I don't see a move out there for them. They're still among.
Let's get Deebo Samuel back. Let's get Trent Williams back.
Yeah, they're still among the elites in the NFL, although they have more questions certainly than they did 3 weeks ago. But you don't need to do anything drastic today. San Francisco, stay where you're at. No need to go anywhere.
Also, I mean, if you wanted to play some weird navigational way of the seeding, do you think the San Francisco 49ers are scared of playing the Seattle Seahawks or the Atlanta Falcons in the first round of the playoffs?
I get what you're saying. There's some wiggle room there.
Yeah.
I got you. You don't need to do anything, San Francisco. You're fine.
The Kansas City Chiefs need to trade for a wide receiver, maybe DeAndre Hopkins.
Chiefs fans, I get the base. I get the company line is to say we are fine and everything's fine all the time because you have Patrick Mahomes. And it's true. You do have Patrick Mahomes.
You are fine in a division that is terrible.
Yeah, in a sense that you're fine, but you're the Chiefs. You're trying to win the Super Bowl. It can't just be Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
It can't.
It can't just be that. I think they need. I think they need a guy.
Yep, I'd go get one.
Why not? You're the Chiefs. You're trying to win the Super Bowl.
It doesn't have to be an A-lister. It just has to be a guy who doesn't drop the ball every time it's thrown to him.
I get it. Their defense is good this year. And there's a lot more put on them than in normal years, and I think a lot of that is due to the offense not regressing, but just being a little bit less explosive than it has been in previous years. There's a correlation there. Yeah, I mean, I think if I'm a Chiefs fan, I'm begging for it today. I'm like, come on, something. Can we work out some deal somewhere for a wide receiver who could catch a football?
Also,
he doesn't even have to be a one. Just get him in the mix.
Yeah. It also maybe you say, hey, Sky Moore, why don't you pack up your things?
Yeah, time to go.
Why don't you go?
You're no longer a member of the team. Goodbye, Sky.
We've spoken to Patrick, and he said GTFO, whatever that means. We don't know what it means, but
GTFO. He yelled something, and then he said ketchup afterwards, and we were like, all right, you're cut.
Okay, I think that means we have to cut Sky Moore.
Yep.
The Cleveland Browns should make a move to add a competent quarterback to their Super Bowl caliber defense.
Oh, I like those quotation marks, Josh. Good addition there.
Good job, Riders.
Many people talk about the Browns and their Super Bowl caliber defense. They have a great defensive line. They're certainly they got stars all over the place. There's nothing about this team yet, really. If you're telling me that they're a competent quarterback away, we're just not on the same page.
Away from what?
We're just not on the same page. Away from trying to win the Super Bowl or trying to
win a
get to the AFC
game.
Championship, maybe win a playoff game. You could be because any quarterback could win a playoff game.
Mm-hmm. Tim
right?
Tebow did it.
Obviously Deshaun Watson ain't it. Obviously PJ Walker ain't it. But the quarterback upgrade would have to be truly significant in order for the Browns to make any sort of noise this year. And there's just not that guy out there. That guy doesn't exist. So you're fine. Stay right there, take your defense and be good. And maybe you can roll the dice and get one of those wild card spots. But I don't think that I don't think that big upgrade at quarterback is out there.
They're the 7 seed right now. Pittsburgh's 1 spot ahead of them. The Jets and Bengals are behind them on the outside looking in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'd roll the dice. Maybe Deshaun finally gets healthy / wants to play football.
Wouldn't count on that one.
I would not, but I mean, you're going to tell yourself that, right?
We'll try. Yeah.
And finally, on the NFL Reaction Overreaction Trade Deadline Edition, Davante Adams will be traded.
I feel bad for Davante Adams. I genuinely feel bad for him.
I do too. This doesn't feel like diva wide receiver throws temper tantrum on sideline.
No.
Yeah.
I don't like that it's being framed that way too. I genuinely feel bad for him.
That's a guy that's genuinely frustrated with his lot in life.
He plays for that team like basically on his own goodwill. Like he wanted to go there.
Yeah.
So the situation that he signed up for has not been the situation that he has got. And now he, and they've given him some responsibility on that team. They've given him, he can have opinions on where the ball goes. He doesn't have anybody to get it to him. Like, so if maybe the Chiefs, right? If I'm somebody looking for a wide receiver today, I know I'm gonna have to pay a haul for it. But like, my guess would be maybe that the Raiders would try to accommodate him. They should, because that man signed to your franchise on basically goodwill because he liked the Raiders and that's his team, and he should be able to go without being lambasted on the way out, and having the other team be hamstrung with less draft picks and whatever it might be.
Do right by him and fire Josh McDaniel or get a different quarterback today.
I agree. But we're 2 hours away. I haven't heard any buzz on this.
No, I think I read a report that said he has been specifically told he will not be traded.
My fantasy team will continue to suffer.
Well, asked one person close to the situation what the chances were that the Raiders would trade Davante Adams. Adam Schefter was told, quote, "Not a chance in hell."
Sad. Why? Why would they keep him? What's the point? Okay, thank you. You answered the question. That is NFL Reaction Overreaction. Josh, appreciate it, and thank you to our writers over there.
Thank you, guys. You did great. Another
great week.
I like a theme.
Josh loves a theme.
Oh, we have comment from
hello commenter
Mike Schaefer.
Mike Schaefer.
Yes.
On the YouTube?
No.
Oh.
On the Twitter. He tweeted, "Tell me everything I need to know about Josh Dobbs." Someone responded, "Really lovely guy, great person, wants to win, makes some mistakes, but I'm going to root for him every time I see him. Short time here in Arizona, but he made a lot of fans." Mike Schaefer said,
"He's Kirk Cousins?
All I needed to see. If you can win the NFC North with Case Keenum, then I see no reason Minnesota can't win it with Josh Dobbs."
Schaefer's back.
He's back.
He's back in. We thought his season was over on Monday. He's back in on Tuesday. God bless that man. Josh has his bottom 5 coming up on 1620 The Zone.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620 The Zone.
Shop Woodhouse Buick GMC first and experience the difference. Their large showroom at 119th and I is indoors, allows you to shop inside during all kinds of weather conditions. New and pre-owned inventory, stylish SUVs that fit the whole family comfortably, to capable trucks to get the job done. Woodhouse Buick GMC has something for everyone, and I mean everyone. And right now they have a 23 Buick Envision Preferred all-wheel drive for you, which has more than enough style, power, and technology to make every day an occasion. Plus, you can save $22.50 off MSRP right now. See dealer for details. If a truck is in your future, the 23 GMC Yukon with Super Cruise driver assistant technology is one of the features that helps you get the job done. Shop Woodhouse GMC first. Huge indoor showroom, 119th and I, or online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Husker fans, this year marks the 100th season of Memorial Stadium. You can preserve memories from this iconic stadium with a limited edition, fully licensed football for $119. The ball also features championship and stadium history, as well as a full panel panoramic color photo of Memorial Stadium. Only 5,000 footballs will be produced. To order, call 1-800-345-2868. That's 1-800-345-2868. Or visit NICOsports.com. That's NIKCOsports.com.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees.
This year, Staples will not be celebrating the holidays. Instead, we're celebrating the holiday deals with amazing savings for the holiday season. Save 50% on custom holiday cards, save 50% on custom invitations, and save 50% on custom photo gifts like mugs and calendars. During Staples holiday deals, it's not about the ho, ho, ho. It's about saving dough, dough, dough. Save 50% on custom cards, invitations, and photo gifts today at Staples. Ends 12/16. Visit staples.com/print for more details.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Breast cancer is among the most common types of cancers in the United States and accounts for 1 of 3 new female cancers every year. Get familiar with your own breasts with self-exams, and if something doesn't feel right, get it checked out. Find out more at cancer.org.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. Here comes the clown.
This week in the NFL saw the worst team, according to Josh last week, win a football game. Will there be a change at the top?
I love a changing of the guard.
On Josh's Top 5.
Yes.
Hit it one more time. Can't wait. Song gets me kind of fired up, weirdly.
Can't wait.
Very excited.
It's nice when I remember to play it.
It
The
is.
segment works like it's supposed to.
Feels better that way.
Gosh, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
By the way, there was some question about whether Kenny Pickett was playing tonight.
Well, nobody's playing tonight.
I'm sorry, Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Pickett has said he is, quote, playing for sure.
Oh.
Source, Kenny Pickett.
Okay.
Good, Kenny
good for
Pickett's
him.
playing.
Broncos fans, you're not in the top 5.
Oh, you beat the Chiefs. That's an awful lot of respect for the Chiefs, Josh.
It is. The Broncos were number 4 on last week's bottom 5. Breathe a sigh of relief, Broncos fans. I'll just spoil that for you right now. You're nowhere to be found in this bottom 5 because the New England Patriots exist.
Go Patriots.
They are number 5. They lost 31-7. Is that right? To the Dolphins? Did I write this down correctly?
That sounds right.
Okay. Wow. Stinky.
31-17.
Okay. That's why I asked. I was like, I don't think that was the score of the game.
31-17.
Belichick now 0-6 against Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh, no.
Really? The Pats are 31st in scoring at a measly 14.8 points per game. They are last in pass block win rate. Just 43% of the time they win on pass blocking.
I think this is who the Patriots are now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they are the team that can win against the uber talented teams because of their definitive coaching advantage over everybody. They still have that, but they don't have, first of all, they don't have Tom Brady, obviously. They don't have the talent to sort of consistently go up against these teams, but they'll pick, not surprised that they pick the Bills off, right? And then they'll also get beat by teams that are like marginally better than them because they need to, those teams on the other side need to play a certain way in order to win. So, like, yeah, the Patriots are no good. They are definitely not good. Mac Jones has been better over the last couple of weeks, but still not the answer.
For comparison's sake, the number one team in the pass block win rate, the Kansas City Chiefs, at 75%.
Respect.
Worst point differential in the AFC, minus 90. Mac Jones, until Jimmy Garoppolo threw an interception yesterday, led the league in interceptions with 8.
Yeah, it's too many. There's only been 8 games, Josh.
Yeah. You're going to want to throw fewer than that. Fewer than 1 a game. That's all we ask of you.
Number 4.
Curious to see where else this list goes, Josh.
A lot of movement this week, just like last week. They picked up a pass rusher today, but they're still on this list. The Chicago Bears.
Bear down, Chicago Bears.
2-6 on the year. They looked bad on Sunday night.
But don't you love Tyson Bagent?
Oh, you mean the guy who threw 0 passing touchdowns and 2 interceptions on Sunday?
God, Collinsworth and Tirico were going way too far there on Sunday night.
They clearly loved the story of Tyson Bagent, and that's fine. It's a great story, but it was pretty obvious, hey, the Chargers were going to make Division II graduate Tyson Bagent beat them.
I don't get why it's such a good story. Why is it such a good story?
Because nobody comes from D2 to quarterback a team to a win.
So it's just because he went to college at Shepherd College?
His dad's an arm wrestler. Have you seen his dad?
It doesn't seem like that big of an underdog story to me. He was the best player in Division II. He won the Harlan Hill.
He has thrown the most touchdowns in NCAA history at any level.
Right. And he's just as bad as some of the NFL quarterbacks that we've seen, who are replacement level or worse.
There's
nothing special about him.
He's a perfect quarterback for that montage that they play every time a new Bears quarterback debuts.
Or a new Browns quarterback.
Yeah. Here's the list of Bears quarterbacks over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's, forgot about that guy. We're
going to look back in 2 years and be like, remember that 2 weeks where everybody was talking about Tyson Bagent? And you know what the response will be? No, I do not remember that.
On the defensive side of the ball, the defense forced 2 punts on Sunday.
That doesn't seem like enough, Josh.
None of those in the first half, and one of those at the end of the game, like the drive before the clock ran out.
Garbage time.
Yeah.
Cool.
Not good, Chicago.
No, Bears bad.
Bears bad.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
They were number 1 last week. They've moved up 2 spots. They are the Carolina Panthers.
My boys!
They won a game.
My boy!
And if you were going to win a first game, what a game to win, right? Because all week it was C.J. Stroud versus Young.
Bryce
Young, that's right. Why couldn't I remember his first name there? I don't know. 34.7 QBR for Bryce Young. That's the worst among active quarterbacks.
Yeah, they just don't don't do anything with him.
Now let's be positive. Connor, next 2 games against the Panthers, at home against the Colts,
win,
at the Chicago Bears,
win.
Could this be the confidence Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers need?
I don't see why they can't win the NFC South.
Whoa.
No, actually, I do see a lot of reasons why they can't win the NFC South, but that division isn't very good.
Someone has to win it.
Somebody's got to win it. It won't be the Panthers.
Okay.
But I hope it is one day. Because go Panthers.
They're not a good football team. They're not playing well, but the schedule sets up for them to, they could take some.
Well, they're going to be a mainstay here in the bottom 5. We just hope we keep them out of the cellar.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Here comes 2.
Number 2.
No movement for this team this week. If you remember last week's list, they were also at number 2. They are the Arizona Cardinals.
Go Cardinals.
They have lost 5 straight after a 31-24 loss to Baltimore. A loss in which they did recover an onside kick, which is like the rarest thing to happen in an NFL game anymore.
A meaningless one.
Yes. They are 28th in passing, 22nd in points, 27th in points allowed. They don't do anything well. They do everything poorly. And now they don't have their quarterback, Josh Dobbs, as he's been traded to the Vikings. I mean, they get Kyler Murray back, but is that really better?
Maybe. That's a maybe on this week, right?
Yeah. He's not confirmed for this week.
I mean, yeah. This is a team at the beginning of the year where you're like, oh, they're not trying to win football games.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. And they're not going to. They're going to be right here. They're going to be fighting for that top spot all year long.
Do you know anything about Cardinals backup quarterback potential starter this week?
Clayton Tune?
Clayton Tune.
Oh, I remember Clayton Tune.
Former Houston Cougar.
That's right. That's what I know about him. He threw for a lot of yards at Houston.
Well, he went 1 for 1 and threw for 4 yards this past week.
Yeah, they'll do the exact same thing with him as they did with Joshua Dobbs.
He's never
a starter.
He's never thrown an incompletion in the NFL.
Is this true?
I mean, he's 1 for 1.
1 for 1 ever?
Yeah.
Incredible. I'm getting pretty desperate for tight ends in my fantasy league, so I picked up Trey McBride for this week.
Oh, okay. How's that for this week? So you haven't?
Yeah, it hasn't played yet,
Okay.
but I got Sam Laporta on a bye week, so I got to go with Trey McBride.
At the Browns this week for
McBride.
Arizona. Yeah.
Perfect. It'd be great against a
It's a
Super Bowl caliber defense.
There it is. Okay. Number 1, worst team in the league.
We know it's not the Broncos.
Yeah. Who's it going to be?
We know it's not the Bears.
Make it so, number 1.
Number 1.
It's not the Panthers. Oh, I know who it is.
Connor?
I know who it is.
How many yards in the NFL did you throw for on Sunday? Did you throw for? I know you could run for $120 on anyone in the league.
That's right.
How many did you throw
I could also
for?
kick a few, but 0. I didn't have any.
Okay. That's 9 more yards than the New York Giants threw for on Sunday.
Go G-Men!
God! Set the sport back 25 years on Sunday.
Yeah, that was a tough watch.
In a 13-10 overtime loss to the New York Jets, I believe there were 25 punts in that game. That sounds like a lot, doesn't it?
It does.
I believe it's the right number, though.
It's pretty extreme. Terod Taylor, final stat line, 4 of 7, 8 yards.
That is correct. He was also he was sacked,
and then he broke his ribs
2 times for a loss of 7 yards.
So
Tommy DeVito came in and went 2 for 7 for -1 yards.
Right. So that's where you get that -9 as a team.
He was also Tommy was sacked 2 times for a 9-yard loss.
Saquon Barkley had 36 carries.
He did.
36 carries.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And he averaged 3.6 yards per carry. You would think with 36 carries, you could have like 200 yards. Nope, not in this case. They're running the ball. The Jets somehow only had 22 carries for 58 yards in the entire afternoon. This is a total mess. Both of these teams honestly deserve to be on here. But meanwhile, the Jets are 4-3, and they're like kind of doing some stuff.
They're only out of the playoffs right now due to tiebreakers. They'd be in on like record alone.
They get Chargers, Raiders the next 2 weeks. The Jets do.
Daniel Jones hasn't played in how long? Like a month?
I thought the Giants would regress, but I didn't think it'd be this bad.
Yeah. Daniel Jones is still the team's leading passer in just about every statistical category, and he hasn't played in 3 or 4 weeks.
That's pretty wild.
And he will not play for another 2.
Josh, thank you.
Thank you, Connor.
That is the bottom 5, worst 5 teams in the NFL. The Giants are trying to just get back in the hunt.
Connor, we threw for more yards than the Giants.
We did.
That's astounding.
Yeah, people say we couldn't make it in the NFL. Well, how about the Giants? Kick them out, relegate them to somewhere else.
Like it happens a lot where like, oh, a team ran for 40 yards. Like, oh, okay, yeah, teams don't run the football anymore. This is passing.
You know what? It's really concerning as we get ready for the 1 o'clock hour here. Kirk Ferentz decided to have his press conference at 1:45 today. I wanted to have so many takes, but we're not going to have what Kirk is going to say until after the show is over. Boo.
Sad.
Boo that man.
Mm-hmm. All right. He's
Plenty-
ducking you.
Plenty more to come on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Husker fans, are you ready to score big savings on your tickets this season? When you need to find seats at Memorial Stadium, be sure to shop the best selection without the added fees at ticketsforless.com. That's right. Tickets for Less offers transparent pricing, meaning you never pay crazy high fees at checkout. Plus, save even more when you use promo code THEZONE at checkout today at ticketsforless.com. Every seat holds a story. Find yours at ticketsforless.com. Don't forget, Tickets for Less for the best concerts and events, and save now with the code THEZONE.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Risa, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults.
Nothing is everything.
Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
The glory and the greatness are only a few days away. The 40th running of the Breeders' Cup World Championships at Santa Anita is finally here. The ultimate racing showdown that every owner, trainer, and jockey around the globe has in their sights. With $31 million in purses and awards, there's a lot at stake. But only the best will claim the coveted title of World Champion. Coverage begins Friday, November 3rd on USA and continues Saturday, November 4th on USA and NBC. Visit breederscup.com to learn more.
Let's watch the game at DJ's. Nick Hanley here for my friends at DJ's Dugout. Football is in full swing, college football, pro football. Watch your favorite team at DJ's. Great food, great drinks, great service. Plus, DJ's casual, comfortable atmosphere and huge TV walls are an Omaha tradition. Let's watch the game at DJ's, Omaha's hometown iconic sports bar for 30 years. Locally and Vietnam veteran owned with 7 metro area locations. Dig in at the Dugout.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
All right, welcome back. 1 o'clock hour of the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. We got a Iowa fan who listened to our segment a little bit late with the spreadsheet segment where we proclaimed that it would be fun if Nebraska would play like Iowa or Michigan again or Colorado again or Minnesota again. Swag Surfer writes in, are you two insane? Wanting to play Michigan again? Nebbers, which is what the Iowa fans call Nebraska. Nebbers. Stop.
That's dumb. You're dumb.
Please stop immediately.
Who's the dumb
Do
one
not
now?
ever do that. You look horrible doing that. Don't call Nebraska Nebbers.
You probably call chicken nuggets nuggies.
I'm telling you, it's not for my own good. I could care less what you call Nebraska. I'm doing this for you. I'm saying this for you. Don't call Nebraska Nebbers. Like Knebbers. You added the K. Nebbers. I'm trying to help you. Stop. You look bad. Nebbers is 113 in scoring, only 20.2 points per game. Lowly Iowa is only 5 spots behind you at 19.5 points per game. Michigan would undoubtedly score 50 plus this time around. Stop being grifters for the Nebraska athletic department. At what point, Swag Surfer, the guy who calls Nebraska Nebbers, did you hear me say that I would love to see Nebraska play Michigan again because I feel like their offense is good? Nobody said that. Nobody said that ever. Also, I don't necessarily want to see Nebraska play Michigan again.
I would.
I'd be
that
curious.
Big, stupid oil drum in Indianapolis.
I'd be curious to see what would happen. I don't think Nebraska would lose by as much, personally. But at no point was I like, hey, well, you know what? Nebraska might be able to put some points up here. No, it ain't about the offense.
We're going to bring them down in the mud.
Come on, Swag Surfer. Come on, Nibbers guy. Calm down. And by the way, the point was less about Michigan. It was more about the other two games. Nebraska's a different team than they were in the first month of the season, I think. But, I would say that because I'm a grifter for the Nebraska athletic department. People forget that.
Yeah.
A new update in on one Connor Stallions this morning.
This guy.
So this is great. It every time it just gets funnier, I think. Central Michigan, according to ESPN, and they've confirmed this, Central Michigan is investigating photos that show a man resembling Connor Stallions on its sideline for the September 1st opener at Michigan State. Athletic Director Amy Folan, in statement to ESPN, said the school became aware of the photos late last night. The man resembling Stallions is dressed in Central Michigan issued gear and standing alongside several of the team's coaches while wearing a bench credential. The credential reads VB, which appears to be designated for the visiting bench area, which is different than a general sideline pass. It gives access to the designated area between the 20-yard lines, which is reserved for players, coaches, trainers, and equipment staff. Schools are given a finite amount of passes for each game. Folan, the athletic director at Central Michigan said, quote, "We are in the process of determining the facts surrounding them. As this process is ongoing, we have no further comment at this time." How deep does this go, Josh?
What is happening?
What is going on? What is going on?
Because here's what's going.
There's only two options on this specific one, and they're both bad.
Run through them.
Option number one is how it looks on paper, which is Central Michigan helped out Michigan to beat Michigan State, right? Central Michigan's playing Michigan. I know it's confusing with all the Michigans. So to recap, Central Michigan is playing Michigan State in their home opener, or in their opener. Here comes Connor Stallions. He wants sideline passes to get a closer look at Michigan State. And Central Michigan decides, okay, that's a good idea. That looks horrible, right? For Central Michigan.
Does.
The other option is Connor Stallions faked all of it. Faked the sideline pass, faked the Central Michigan gear, like showed up in Central Michigan gear, showed up with a sideline pass and started getting a closer look at Michigan State signs. Connor, my guy, stick to the tickets. Stick to the stands. Much less people are going to see you there. It was reported in this ESPN story. So here's I'm going to read you this. Photos obtained by ESPN show a man wearing sunglasses during a night game and holding a possible play sheet. The man appeared to shield his face anytime a play ended near where he was standing, but was shown by FS1 cameras several times during the game broadcast.
Michigan is going to say this person is a rogue actor.
Yeah, he's clearly not.
Yeah, like, oh, yeah, we knew he was crazy, and we told him that he doesn't volunteer here anymore.
Jim Harbaugh knows about all this stuff.
Yes.
So just so we're clear on that.
But I mean, let's be logical about this. This is highly orchestrated. Like, hey, if you help us beat Michigan State, we'll let you look at Michigan State. Like,
so weird.
Yeah.
So weird. Michigan, what are you doing?
You don't have to do any of this.
No.
You're better than all of these teams.
Yep.
In status and on the field.
Amazing that Central Michigan is involved in this now. Like, why are we just go to the game with the tickets, man? Like, you were doing fine. Nobody knew it. They were starting to catch on because I feel like you got a little bit greedy.
Mm-hmm. A little too close to the sun.
A little too close to the sun, and people started to figure out, oh, wait a minute, they have our signs. Because I don't know if you guys know this, like in a lot of sign stealing scandals before, it actually turns out that based on the result of what happens, you can tell when the other team has your signs.
Yeah, TCU said, "Oh yeah, we knew they had signs, and we used dummy signs."
Like it wasn't just
them.
It wasn't just the trash can banging for the Astros. It was also the fact that they were hitting every pitch.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, well, what could possibly be going on here?
Fun little twist into all of this. The Chippewas play a game of football tonight, and Jim McElwain's going to be in front of a bunch of microphones afterwards.
Nice.
Now he's going to obviously say, I have no comment about this, internal investigation, blah, 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 but let's make him sweat a little bit.
Ross writes in on the Equitable Bank inbox. Central Michigan has multiple former Michigan assistants on their staff, including Jim McElwain.
Also, it'd be very easy to, get him there. Also, Central Michigan lost to Michigan State 31-7.
It's almost like if Michigan called Central Michigan and they were like, hey, we need your help. We're just going to, give me a sideline pass, and we want to do some advanced scouting of Michigan State. It's almost like Central Michigan has a close relationship with Michigan that they would say, sure, why not?
Central Michigan did not play Michigan this year.
This is the tip of the iceberg. This thing goes deep. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh's going to leave. So just so you guys know that.
The day the season ends.
Brian on the text line.
Hi, Brian.
Asks a question. Is that the same Jim McElwain that rode a shark naked?
Yes, the very same.
Don't believe that was actually him, but that was the Jim McElwain we talk about. Yes. Indeed. All right.
I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me.
It's the only thing I think of when I think of Jim McElwain, to be honest with you. All right, somebody just tweeted at us the video of they're merging Connor Stallions together with the screenshot from the FS1 broadcast of the Central Michigan game.
Yeah. You can't get over.
It's definitely the same guy.
Yeah.
There's cameras literally everywhere. How are we just talked about this with the guy at Walgreens earlier trying to steal all the Scrippies. You're going to get caught. There's cameras everywhere in the whole world.
Yeah. Would it shock anyone if Harbaugh had the hubris to think, I can beat those cameras?
Not at all. Not in the slightest. We'll take a break. Come on back. Or the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. But first, score early this NFL season with FanDuel, which is America's #1 sportsbook, of course. We'd love to remind you of that. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's right, $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. So go grab a money line bet, put $5 on it, and if it wins, take a minus 450 favorite or something like that. If it wins, it's $150 in bonus bets. That's how you get involved in some NFL action with the FanDuel Sportsbook. There's also spreads and player props, anytime touchdown scorers, which I love. You could have bet Jimmy Garoppolo to throw a pick last night. It would have been minus. That would have been minus money. But guess what? It's worth the squeeze because he's always going to throw a pick because he's Jimmy Garoppolo. Head to FanDuel.com/Happer and kick off the NFL season with FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. 21 and over, present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame moneyline wager required. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley.
Hyannis? Thank God you had Terry Keneally, or we would not like you in Omaha. Just telling you.
I feel like Nebraska City's one of us.
I mean, Hemingford? You should have just gone to Wyoming. Why did you insist on staying in Nebraska? Same with you people in Whitney. Just go to Wyoming.
Go consolidate your schools.
Yeah. You know what, Crawford? You're not good enough for Wyoming. Just go to South Dakota.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Bellevue Berry and Pumpkin Ranch from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Your Tuesday afternoon forecast will include mostly sunny skies along with breezy conditions. Northwest winds will continue to gust as high as 20 to 25 miles an hour throughout the afternoon. Temperatures will be topping out somewhere in the mid to upper 30s. In Omaha, I'm tracking a high of 36 degrees. For tonight, remaining clear and cold. Morning lows dipping into the lower 20s, upper teens. For tomorrow, much warmer with a lot of sunshine with temperatures warming into the lower 50s. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620, The Zone.
If you're the kind of person who has the attitude that when you do a job, you do it right, not just one time, every single time, congratulations. You're a rare individual, the kind of individual the Langfeld family wants to pay very well to join the awesome crew at Langfeld Overhead Door. That's because the Langfeld family believes strongly in treating their employees right. You know, doing what's right. Like you do on the job. Opportunities are available now. Click langfelddoors.com. That's langfelddoors.com. Equal opportunity employer.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Breast cancer is among the most common types of cancers in the United States and accounts for 1 of 3 new female cancers every year. Get familiar with your own breast with self-exams, and if something doesn't feel right, get it checked out. Find out more at cancer.org.
Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is always looking to make your game day bigger and better. Cheer on your favorite team this season in front of a 22-foot LED video wall showing up to 8 games at once. TVs are everywhere else you can look with a state-of-the-art audio and video system. Enjoy a Big O pizza or award-winning char-buffed wings. There's just no better way to do your game day. Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and West Center Road. And for takeout at 162nd and Maple.
All right, as we've discussed before previously on this show, Matt Rule is a sicko, just like you and I, as we've become sickos. And here's the thing that we like about Matt Rule. Do we know the answer to, is he a sicko at heart, or is he just adapting because this is what he needs to do? He was definitively not a sicko in the Big 12. The weather was hot.
Right.
They had some spread offenses. They scored some points. Right. But here he is yesterday. Josh, if we could pull up the audio here. Sorry, I kind of surprised that one.
Yeah.
Number 5, or he was asked about. Well, actually, go to number 4 first. And he was asked about some of the main differences or something that sets the Big Ten apart. And he goes to weather, which is the definitive difference between the conference and others.
I don't think people understand or value, maybe we do here, but across the country, the impact of the weather in some of these games and the winds. Like, I mean, those winds, like the ball Tommy picked off, Tommy's gonna want to fight me, but like he threw that into the wind now. They got behind us a couple of times. They threw another ball. They got behind Giff and cover 2. Giff's a middle run through the two cover 2 safeties, jumped 12-yard route. Same thing happened against Michigan, right? On a nice, clear 98-degree day, and my man throws a touchdown we catch on our helmet. Same thing happened. Giff makes a heck of a play to bat the ball away, right? But he's also throwing that those winds are severe. Like there's times where we're out there and we're like the option pass. We would have preferred to have called that that we hit to Jalen. We were going to call that in the first quarter. You know what I'm saying? And just the wind kind of felt swirling and all those different things. And so now we ended up throwing that ball with the wind, and I almost looked like maybe it was going to be overthrown at once, but Jalen's so fast. So I think the wind and the elements is a real factor. I think I heard Alvano say it, like, he kicked a 55-yarder in those elements. It wasn't, 80 degrees in Jacksonville, Florida. So I think those are some of the things that are there. And then, other than that, I don't know. I mean, you see a change in the league now going to some teams that are, going to some teams that are more spread, right? So, Purdue obviously was a spread offense. Wisconsin runs the ball a ton. They have some, a lot more 11 personnel. So, other than that, I don't know, but I do think the weather's a real factor.
He talks about the weather anytime he gets a chance. We get a comment from the YouTube from Chance.
Hi, Chance.
He says, I think he's always been a sicko, and he can now finally, as a coach in the Big Ten West, can let his sicko flag fly.
I like that take.
I think that's the case as well. But that's the great thing about this coach, right? He coaches in the state of Texas, and Nebraska gets him, and you think like, God, this guy is all Texas. And guess what Texas thought of him before the state of Texas got him? This guy's so East Coast. Like, how is he going to? It's different here. He has a great pulse on the people, the environment, and how you need to play football in order to win football games. And this is how he's viewed it here. I think that's a little bit more of his true colors. I would agree with Chance there on the YouTube. This feels like it's him. I don't want to flatter myself either. I think he could be a chameleon and he could fit in anywhere. He's one of those guys that could, wear a suit and a tie and be just fine, but also wear sweatpants. He continues sort of on the differences. He compares it to his time in the Big 12, number 5, Josh.
Yeah, but we were playing. I mean, there was never a day. There was never a game where the elements ever affected us other than the heat. Like you'd be crazy to be in the Big 12 and not be a tempo team. And we played a game at Baylor. Like, it was an 11 o'clock game where they had to remove the cheerleaders from the field because it was unsafe. Our D-line coach's shoes melted into the turf. Like, yeah, okay, so go tempo, run 100 plays and play against the other team's threes. Is that going to work here? You know what I mean? Like, so it's completely different. I used to beg Mac Rhodes. I say, hey, do me a favor. Like, these non-conference games, you need another FBS opponent. Go get someone from the north and make them come down and play in Texas. So it's just that. Like when we start playing teams from warmer climates, I'm not gonna say, like, I'm hoping they come in here in November. You know what I mean? So there's just different things, different places, right? And so that's why NFL teams, I think, love Big Ten. From what the guys I talk to, love Big Ten O-linemen, because they know that, hey, they can handle these elements. They can play in the cold. And we've played in 43 degrees. We've played in 32 degrees already. I mean, it's a challenge.
From the text line from Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
Love rule for this. It's happened way too much here with coaches not adapting and instead doing my way or the highway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's on a bigger picture. I'll take it even further, Jeff. Like, Nebraska has gotten to the practice sort of in trying to find and figure out who they are over the last 20 years now. They've gotten to the practice of hiring for scheme, right? If your program is defined by a scheme, it's generally it can be affected by the environment that happens around it, right? You have to have an offense, and you have to play a brand of football that works in all kinds of weather, because you are going to see all kinds of weather, right? And guess what always works, regardless of the weather? Ball control and defense, baby.
That's right.
Ball control and defense. So is it any wonder why the Big Ten takes on that personality with basically every team that's in it, and its most successful teams have done it perfectly over the years? No. You can either do that or be really, 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 really talented and not have to worry about any of it. That's what Ohio State did under Urban Meyer. And now they are shifting back a little bit. They're shifting back to closer to what a West team might look like, just like a really talented version of a Big Ten West team. So this guy, I mean, it's another example. This guy adapts. And how many times, by the way, have we heard coaches come in and they've been like, yeah, the weather, I mean, you get what you get. And then they practice in the indoor all week.
Both teams have to play in it.
Exactly. And then they practice in the indoor all week, and then they go out on Saturday and they wonder why everybody's dropping balls and fumbling and not quite playing as sharply as they normally do. It's almost like the weather does have an effect on the game. It's almost like the wind does matter. Like we were there. I mean, I was there on Saturday.
Outside in the elements.
Once again,
Commoner.
like a common man. It wasn't necessarily the cold, as a true Midwesterner would say. What would they say after that, Josh?
It's the wind.
It's the wind that really gets you.
Yep.
It's the wind. And I'm sitting there because, I'm in my element at the time. I've had a couple pops, like I said, and I'm out there berating Hudson Card, and I'm like, Texas boy, you don't want that. You don't want that. Because it was so clear to me that Nebraska was so built for it. Nebraska was like, it was important to them that they defended their home turf in their home weather with all that stuff. And that they had somebody else coming in that that didn't necessarily play a style that would make sense for that environment. That's how it felt to me.
Tweet in from Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Frost be like, we hope the weather adapts to us.
Yeah, don't worry. I could change the weather. We'll take care of that. We'll take care of that. I think his idea was taking care of that was moving back to the Big 12.
That would
and then not playing Oklahoma every year. There was that part of it too. He's adaptable. That's all. And you guys already knew that, but it's another example. He's been different things at different places. If he goes somewhere else after this, there'll be a different thing there too. This is a very unique situation, but I do think it fits him. I do think it fits his personality. He's an ugly, gritty guy,
Oh yeah.
I don't mean to say he's ugly. He's great. He's a great look. He's a very handsome man, but he's a gritty guy. He likes to roll around in the mud, as I always say. We still have some stuff left over from that as well, but no time for it today. We'll be back. Poll questions. Tell you what to watch on 1620 The Zone.
The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call on the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Hi, everybody. Kent Pavelka here with why I chose Everlevel Concrete Repair for my driveway. They do it all. They fix cracks, lift sunken slabs, protect the finished product from deterioration, and all at a fraction of the price of replacement. It's not a Band-Aid like other repair methods. Everlevel's products are designed to last, which is why they've been voted Best of Omaha again this year. Better yet, it all comes with a transferable warranty. Protect your concrete before winter. Call Everlevel today for your free inspection. Everlevel. They make your driveway Everlevel. Level up.
You can buy farm fresh food from more than 100 local farmers under one roof at Ellsworth Crossing in Waterloo. All Ellsworth Crossing products are ethically raised and keto friendly with many health benefits. Free range chicken and eggs, pork, Wagyu beef, bison, and more. Fresh produce, milk and dairy, including ice cream and cheese. On Saturday, they have fresh Nebraska salmon and trout available. Ellsworth Crossing, 26902 West Center Road in Waterloo. EllsworthCrossing.com or follow them on Facebook or Instagram.
Discover, this is Daniela. Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making me feel so special. I earned cash back on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great. But with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cash back on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Do you like asparagus and mushroom sorbet? I've got leftovers.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to Discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fry co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of JVC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Maverick Homecoming is this weekend as your Omaha Mavericks hockey team takes on the 11th-ranked Western Michigan Broncos on November 3rd and 4th. And we are less than 1 week away from the men's and women's basketball home opener. The men take on Doane and the women play Illinois State on Monday, November 6th. Basketball season tickets are still available. Get your tickets now by calling the box office at 402-554-MAVS or by going to omavs.com/picks. Let's pack the Baxter.
All right, we got one NFL trade deadline situation for today. I guess we got two during the show. We had the Commanders, the Washington Football Commies, the AKA Football Commanders, AKA the football team. They traded Montez Sweat earlier to the Bears because the Bears were trading draft capital for some reason. For a second rounder?
Yeah.
We have another one, Josh. It involves yet again the Washington Football Commanders / Commies.
We also had Josh Dobbs to the.
Oh yeah, Josh Dobbs too
to the Vikings.
The football team is trading another defensive lineman, Chase Young. Remember Chase Young, Ohio State, Chase Young, to the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh,
for a 3rd round pick. So Young, Montez Sweat, both gone from that defensive line. And as we requested the 49ers don't do anything at the deadline earlier, they have done so. And last two trade deadlines, which once again, NFL trade deadlines, not particularly famous for having these, big trades happen. I would call that almost a blockbuster. Chase Young and Montez, both of them combined, those were foundational pieces for them. The 49ers getting a player like Chase Young to pair him along with Nick Bosa is pretty wild to think about.
That's pretty devastating.
Yeah.
A lineup there.
If you're an NFC fan, not of a team named the 49ers, you're probably like, what the hell? They can't keep getting away with it. But they're on a 3-game losing streak, so, who knows?
Got to make something happen. If the guy's out there,
they made something happen.
Be interested to see what it cost him.
Apparently just a 3rd rounder. That's the only thing I'm seeing so far.
I'm sorry if you said that earlier. I missed it.
Full questions at Happer Show. We had one left over from yesterday during the crossover. Would you rather have Nick Moe for $50 or pay for Peacock?
Give me Peacock.
Agreed. Somehow only 62% are saying pay for Peacock.
I can get a whole year of Peacock for $40.
I don't want to have Nick mow my lawn. 2 poll questions today. The Magic are kind of cool.
No.
Not there yet?
I'm not there yet.
All right, I am. 63% say no. You guys will be thanking me in a couple months.
They're on a little bit of a rise. I will admit that.
You guys will be thanking me in a couple months when you watch Markelle. There'll be this whole thing on ESPN about how Markelle Fultz is actually can actually play basketball now.
Mm-hmm. He's healthy.
Don't worry,
and
I'm telling
playing
you,
ball.
it's going to happen. And finally, do you miss the Peloton bike drama?
No, I don't.
I don't either. I miss some dramas from COVID time, but not that one. 74% also do not miss the Peloton bike drama.
No surprise there.
Those are the poll questions. Josh, what are we watching tonight?
We're going to watch the World Series tonight. Rangers, Diamondbacks. All of America is going to watch it with us too, okay?
By the way, Jeff, great text. Could definitely tell Haps on another Breaking Bad rewatch with all of the references recently. Thank you for picking that up. And I'll tell you the truth. Here's the cold, hard truth, Jeff.
Oh, yeah, I remember. You've mentioned this.
I am not on a Breaking Bad rewatch. I want to be on a Breaking Bad rewatch.
But
I'm watching 7-minute long clips on TikTok constantly. That's what I'm doing right now.
You sicko, just watch the show.
I know, I really should. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting there on my couch with my my stomach to the ground, just watching 5-minute TikTok videos, Breaking Bad. But yes, thank you for picking that up, and it is true. That there's a reason why I'm referencing it, and that's why.
Rangers at the Diamondbacks tonight, 7:00 on Big Fox. It is game 4. I don't even know who the starters are. It's a bullpen game for both teams.
Come on, Joe Mantiply and Andrew Heaney. Those are household names, Josh.
Sure. I mean, they will be after tonight, right?
Not really.
Rangers are 9-0 on the road this postseason. They lead the series 2-1. First pitch tonight, the honors go to John Rahm.
Oh,
the golfer.
Okay.
And the national anthem will be sung by
Flava Flav?
No,
Oh.
I always butcher this name. The country singer Mickey Guyton.
I think that's right.
Guyton.
I think it's Guyton.
Yeah. This person does the anthem quite a bit. College football tonight. Before the games at 6:00 on ESPN, the top 25 college football playoff reveal show.
Oh God.
We get those first playoff rankings tonight.
Oh God.
A lot of people are saying Ohio State de facto number 1. I'm like, why? Because they beat Notre Dame?
Will Nebraska pop into the top 25 of these rankings at some point?
Oh my gosh. I hadn't thought of that as a possibility before the season's end.
Nebraska has only been featured. They have been featured in this show.
Oh, really? I would have guessed no.
They got up to the top 10 in 2016. We had a college football playoff in 2016.
Don't remember any of this.
Yeah, so they were like 7 or 8 going into Wisconsin, and then they dropped off. They were in the teens until they got drilled by Iowa, and that was kind of it.
Okay. Games tonight, Northern Illinois at Central Michigan. Wonder what they'll talk about. 6:00 on ESPNU. Buffalo and Toledo, 6:30 on ESPN2 as Maction is baction.
I got to see the video today of my buddy. He was the guy who broke down the brick wall with the sledgehammer, the cinder block wall with the sledgehammer at Eastern Michigan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He's an Omaha guy. You got to show some love for that.
Okay. Absolutely. Doubleheader in the NBA tonight, just a 3-game slate in the association. Knicks Cavs at 6:30 on TNT, followed by Spurs Suns. So we'll have Jacob Padilla on the show later this week to talk about the Suns' first game against Victor Wembanyama. 9:00 on TNT. Hockey tonight, Kings Maple Leafs, 7:00 on ESPN. If you're looking for scary movies to watch tonight on Halloween, the new Kenneth Branagh Detective Poirot movie is on Hulu, A Haunting in Venice. The 1978 version of Halloween is on at 7:00 on AMC. The 2007 version of Halloween is on at 5:48 p.m. on Sci-Fi. Why 5:48 p.m.? Don't ask me.
Probably right after the first version of it. Yeah.
And then the 2018 version of Halloween is on at 6:30 on FX. I love the Halloween franchise, but maybe we've done that too many times.
Okay, so Halloween, what happens in Halloween?
A young Michael Myers.
Yeah,
murders his sister.
I went to the movies to see the 2018 version.
Okay.
It was actually good.
I liked that version.
Yeah,
it's a very good. They did some very good things with that.
I liked it.
Hocus Pocus, 7:50 on Freeform. All the original monster movies from Universal Studios, like from the 30s, like Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein. They're on Turner Classic Movies today. The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror Marathon is on FXX today, if that's more your speed. And also on IFC all day today. The 101 Scariest Horror Movie Moments. Nice little countdown of the best scenes in horror movie history.
As we know, Josh loves a theme.
I do love a theme. I love a changing of the guard. And I love you, the audience.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
So we're watching. That's the show. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Crossover is next.
Live